Hello, hello. Always LB, first one in tonight. God bless you. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Clark. Hello, Deputy Sheriff. Hello, Annie. Hello, Sammy. How you doing, KU? Hello, Teresa. Hello, Jennifer. How you doing, Just Me Mama? She says, hello, everyone. Much love. Let me tell you about my Jesus. Amen. Hello, PG in chat. Tennessee drama. Hello, hello to you. She says, hello, PG in chat. Hello, Robin. I'm putting links into the chat. It's always open panel here, so anyone that likes to come up, you're always welcome. Absolutely. This is our platform over here. It's always an open platform. Anyone that wants to take a link and come up is more than welcome. Single mama, welcome. Single mama of 4. I feel you. Um, got 4 myself. Welcome to our channel. English Rose says, hello, mods in chat. I'm Mary Jane. If you let me see you, I can bring you up on panel. You have to open cam. Well, hello, PG. Much love, lady. Much love to you, Red Road Homestead. God bless you. Much love to all. This weekend is finally almost here. Amen. Yes, it is. Annie A says, welcome everyone. God bless you, Annie A. Absolutely. Everyone's always welcomed here. Ain't V. Hi, PG. Hi, fam. She's sending much love and kisses. Missouri Mama says, hello, PGOA. Much love. Hey, mods and chat family. Much love to you. Absolutely. God bless you, Missouri Mama. Missouri Mom is throwing up green hearts. Ronald Wilson. Our bucket list has holes. Hi, PG, mods, and chat. Much love to you all. Oh, Ronald Wilson says, Annie, thanks for the green hearts and all. And now, and how are you doing tonight? CJ says, missed you all. Been working 2 shifts and staying so tired. Hope all is well. Take care and stay warm. Justice for Summer Wells. Absolutely. God bless. Uh, Saints rock it all. Said hi, PG mods in chat. I've been up since 4, so just listening tonight. God bless you. You need to get some rest. Unified for summer. Amen. Sending Summer much love. Absolutely. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Kathleen. She says, Summer, much love, Moon Utah Wells. We love you, baby girl. Absolutely. We do. We absolutely do. Single mama for justice for Summer. Prayer she is found soon. Yes, we cannot stop praying now. Absolutely not. We've got to definitely pray. Oh, the world loves you. Some Moon Utah Wells. Much love. Yes, we do. Teresa said, "Oh, PG, I have no idea how grateful I am you're on. Been a bad day. These YouTubers are lying fake hypocrites. I feel at home in here. Oh, God bless you. Yeah, the YouTube world is something different. I Brown Bear, if you open the camera, I'll let you upon panel. Misty Rose said, "PG, have a question." Um, what's the question? Did Candace ever call Don Hun? No. You mean did she call him Hun? No. She called him Donnie. I always heard her calling him Donnie. I didn't ever hear her call him anything else but Donnie. And a few other choice names. But it wasn't Hun. Okay, if you want to close camera, I'll bring you up on panel. How you doing tonight? Hello?
I'm here. Sorry, I was trying to close. I'm here. I was trying to close out my YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, now it's closed. Sorry.
Okay. How you
I
doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fine.
I had a quick question. I've got to get in the bed early tonight, but I needed to ask you a non-summer related question. Um, a lifelong friend of mine's daughter she's 21 years old. She was killed in Newcastle, Delaware by a hit and run driver. She was walking home from work. This was last Wednesday, and they have not found the person who did it. And I was just wondering if I should send you an email with the information in it, if you would please share it. I don't know if you do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know if you would do that on your panel. I know we try to
Oh,
keep it about summer, but we're desperate to find the person who did this.
I will absolutely share it.
Thank you so much, PG.
You are so welcome.
I'll get that email sent over to you.
Uh, absolutely.
All
And
right.
we'll share it until someone comes forth. Maybe we can get some of the other creators to share it as well.
Thank you so much. That was my hope. I had originally sent it to Ziggy earlier this afternoon because she was doing some different content now, and I thought maybe she would. I don't care who. We just need help, you know.
Absolutely.
Somebody saw something.
Absolutely. Send it to my email, and I will start sharing it.
Thank you so much.
And my email is Prayer Garden 316. That's PRAYER Garden GARDEN 316, like John 316 at
Okay.
gmail.com.
Okay, Gmail. Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome, sweetie.
I hope everybody has a good night.
You too. Um, we are absolutely getting some nasty little comments in the back chat up here. I wonder when people are going to ever give up on being so mean. Oh, that's so sweet. Sandra says, PG, Annie, Misty Rose, Ronald Wilson, hello there, and blessings. Much love. God bless you. God bless you, Sandra. Misty Rose says, Sandra, much love back to you. Absolutely. Maury, thank you. I needed that reminder. Yeah, KU. It is anytime you're evil, mean, wicked, mean like that, it is a waste of time. You hurt nobody but yourself and others in the process of it. Hello, Prayer Garden and chat. Much love. Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Much love. Nora, thank you. God bless you, sweetheart. Misty Rose, much love to you, sweetie. Back to Nora. Okay, well, I did call to talk to Frank Light. I got a hold of a relative of his, and Frank was there, but Frank don't talk to no one. His relative, absolutely. Let's find her. Let's find her. Yeah, it was interesting. I did talk to a family member of his, and very nice gentleman. Not at first. He wasn't, because a lot of people's been calling them, saying stuff, being mean, and trying to harass the family. So I could understand fully why the gentleman was, came off hostile at first, but he calmed down. Once I started talking with him, and but he was on edge at the beginning. And I called for Frank, not James. I don't know who James is. Nobody's calling out James's name in this case. They were calling out Frank's name. And so I called Frank, and I got a hold of a family member of his, which was a very nice gentleman. And Frank does not talk to no one. Frank Light, the one that everyone acts so afraid of, and so forth and so on. Um, um, well, I talked to a family member. Um, he answered the phone. PG, you are the only one that talks about summer anymore. All these other channels just bash and hate on each other. Thank you for keeping Summer's name out there. God bless. Oh, Slingshot, you're most welcome. It's not PG, it's us. It's a we over here, not a me. It's we keep Summer's name out there. We made this channel for her. We have open panel every night. Anyone that wants to come up and help support her, always welcome. And we together are keeping her alive and making sure that she's going to be found, brought home, and we are going to get justice. Summer definitely has an army over here. If she hasn't got one anywhere else, she's got one here. That's for sure. Absolutely. And she's going to have one until we get justice for her. We are going to keep fighting. We're going to keep her name out there and keep doing whatever we have to do to bring Summer home. That's our mission. Our mission is to bring her home and get justice. Whoever did this, they deserve everything that the law could provide them. And yes, we do. We do love Summer Moon Utah Wells. She is our topic. Finding her, bringing her home, getting justice for her is our goal. And I feel that we are going to achieve it. Okay, Teresa, are you going to close? How you doing tonight, girl?
Oh, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm not going to stay up. I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate you and this channel, because it's just getting so ridiculous. I know I don't want to mention other channels, but I sent a decent email to somebody about an issue I was having with a mod who kept blocking me, and just the nastiest reply I got. And now he's friends with somebody else, and I went to watch him tonight, and I'm blocked in there too. I don't ever even chat in that one. It's just ridiculous how people are acting. And I just wanted to say, that thank you, because you don't treat people like crap. You don't these other channels, they pit sides against each other, and it's just, what about Summer? She's totally lost in all this. All they care about anymore is money and drama,
Well, ain't nothing we can do. We can't help.
I just want this case solved. I want this to be,
we'd all like to see them bring Summer home. We'd all like to see justice being served upon whoever did this, but this is in God's hands, and this is definitely in God's hands.
Yeah.
and when he, when he knows exactly.
And I told you I lost my 7-day-old second baby to SIDS, but I've always believed that everything happens for a reason. And it wouldn't in the for you don't believe that for quite some time if that happens to you. But with Summer, and she has brought so much her case has brought so much attention to the trafficking and the you know as sex offenders and everything like that. And she's she saved her brothers, and I think that her case is going to change a lot of things. I think there'll be a Summers law, something like that.
I hope that her case brings more awareness
Yes.
to the fact that child abusers and offenders
Mm-hmm.
do not get stiff enough. We do not have stiff enough laws in our country.
No,
People
don't.
that abuse our children
No,
and our elderly.
hey, come on, a dude who gets caught with a pot, he's in prison, jail longer than these people. It's just disgusting.
Well, it that is a fact. I mean, that is a fact, but there's so much more that our law enforcement and our government could do to
Yeah.
shut down this kind of activity.
You know what? But the problem is they're all involved in it too. Not all of them, but these high up.
I
That's
I
the head of the snake there.
I don't know about none of that. I think that just, I don't, I would like to discuss the political part of this, but that would have to be another time, another channel. Over here, we discuss just what we're into right now, and what we're into right now is a case, with the 5-year-old missing little girl, beautiful missing little girl, Summer Moon Utah Wells, that law enforcement, I feel that particular law enforcement, where in Tennessee, dropped the ball. 110 Ben Hill Road on June the 15th. They went up there and dropped the ball. In many different aspects.
Oh,
and and the most we could we could pray for is that they are able to turn it around and and get enough evidence, which I think that I know they must have something solid.
I think they do.
And
and even I think the reason I was like, why have they not arrested Candace for contributing to a minor, and if they have proof of an inappropriate relation? Well, they will charge her with that. It's coming, but they want to have the most charge things they can charge them with, so they can keep them in jail, because what I'm saying, it's they need a conviction on them if it's murder or anything, things that what I'm saying. That's why they're not, because they want to worry about that after the.
I'm not sure if they will be able to charge her with that, or they won't, due to the simple fact that it's her word against the minor.
Yeah.
At this point.
But
now,
there's evidence in those ones.
When H got home, and his mother possibly would have took note that he had been drinking or smoking, and and she would have, immediately called the police, filed charges,
Yeah.
done something, and um, had him tested for
But
alcohol in the system, then yeah, they could have possibly had a
yeah.
case. But due to the fact that, none of that was done, um, I don't know, I don't know how much
well,
they could do with it.
well,
So,
well, Priscilla Wells, yes, I highly recommend John Davis. I love that channel too. Very good people. But if they have, I heard Hunter didn't get his phone back, and if you have any evidence of anything like that in the phones, you're not going to get them back. That's what I'm thinking. There's probably evidence on the phones of something. I don't know. But my point is, like, even with Don's stepsisters, I think they want to get Summers' case solved and then deal with the other charges. You know, that's usually what they do in a case like this.
uh,
Maybe not all the time, but then again, you'd think that they would want to or like arrest them so they can interrogate them some more, keep them in jail. But I don't know.
um, Candace, if you're talking about Candace holds a cigarette in her left hand.
Mm-hmm.
She holds the cigarette in the left hand, not the right.
Yeah.
Um, I noticed that early on that she does.
Yeah. Yeah, they said that in the when they did, when she claimed she broke her thumb or whatever in her left hand and lit a cigarette, so and put her shoes on with their broken thumb. So yeah, that is allegedly Candace had two phones, and Annabella, that too. I'm like,
She has two phones
Candace
now.
still
She only had one phone at the time all
But
of that
she
happened.
told Chris McDonough that she hadn't given her phone to TBI yet. I mean, what the hell? They should have taken that day. You know.
Um, she lied because TBI, the next day when they went to the police station, TBI took Candace's, and Donald's phones, wiped them clean
They should have, yeah.
the very next day. So,
And I think, well, I remember Don complaining of saying something. They deleted everything after 3:30. Well, I think if they did that, because then they'll forget what their stories were. They don't have their phone to look
I
at.
tell you, that's myth. That's a lie. She only had her and Donald and Grandis. They had one phone apiece, and there was no other phone.
I kind of wonder if Candace had another phone though, because if you
No,
think
she
about
didn't.
it,
She
if you
didn't get another phone until her and Donald. It was a few weeks. They got another phone a few weeks after they started getting a bunch of donations and everything. That's one of the first
well,
things they
yeah.
bought. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks into everything, getting their donations.
Well, I'm just saying, like a lot of criminals, they'll have their regular cell, and then they get burners for their illegal activities. And if she was, I know Don sent a text to Doug, but he was showing Doug some saying that Hunter was sending. So.
Right. They yeah, they were dirt poor. They didn't only have one phone apiece. TBI took them the very next day when the cop car came to get Candace because she wasn't coming in. They told her to come in. She wasn't coming. They went and picked her up. She went to there. They took the phones. They hooked her up to a lie detector
Yeah,
test.
she couldn't
She
take it.
freaked all out. Well, she showed deception, was showing deception, but she freaked all out, started like she did on Dr. Phil,
Right.
pulling
Because she didn't
everything
wanna
loose. They, you know, here's the thing, you know, they couldn't use that due to the fact that they did not get to finish it. And if you don't finish a lie detector's test, you cannot
Right.
use it.
And
So
also,
therefore, they had to scratch that one and have them come back in. And, you know, once she got away with it, and they even hooked Donald up, and he acted like he's falling asleep on him, which was pure bullshit. They knew that they wanted to be able to search up. They wanted to be at time to search up just, you know, how to pass it, and what you could do to pass it. I know what they did. I think we all know what they did.
you
And
can.
and there is ways to pass it. Absolutely, there is.
There
No, you
is.
can. You can.
There is. Yes.
And,
But if you're on any drugs or anything, I think was it Chris McDonough or some other maybe Duty Ron said that the results will be inconclusive most of the time.
no, if you take any type of medications that slows down your heart rate and your pulse, you can pass it because
Yeah, I'm on Klonopin.
that's what it works off of, and everybody knows that.
Yeah, because I always wondered I would never be able to pass one because I have severe anxiety.
High blood pressure medication.
Yeah, I mean, because I would just be having a panic attack just doing that. So
No,
I
you wouldn't.
fail.
No, and not at all. Absolutely not. They'll take your medications in consideration, but
Yeah,
they can't tell how much you took, and if you take a little extra to
that's true.
lower down, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you got to take. It's like the safe zone. But if you take enough, staying within the safe zone, then you will be able to pass.
Yeah. And again, they're
Yeah, it was monitoring everything but the truth.
yeah, the police can lie. I mean, they're not they like if somebody that's a good, they Lawson said, yeah, I guess they passed. He can be lying because they want them to let their guard down, feel like, oh, when you saw Dr. Phil, how Don looked like, oh yeah, when Dr. Phil
Oh,
said,
I know. He really got excited when
I know.
he thought he looked like we really
Yeah.
pulled one over on you. Thank
And
you
then
very much.
And then he's telling it to people, some channel on YouTube. He's like, yeah, well, Dr. Phil and the behavioral panel said I'm innocent. They aren't the police. It's like, hello. They're not law enforcement.
Yeah, he must be. He's probably the one that sent her the toys and told her to. I would, if I was TBI and heard about those toys, I would have went up there and
What
I would have confiscated those and took them down and had those tested for DNA.
Are you talking about like adult toys?
Yes, I would have definitely. I
didn't hear about this one. I didn't hear about it.
Right. I would have definitely seen if those had any of the children's DNAs or anything.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
Upon them because I don't think anybody brought those up there. I think those were already there.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it is a good possibility that those were things they were using. you know, to do some bad things with. Who knows? That's disgusting. I mean,
Yeah,
very disgusting.
very. Yeah, it's sick.
And knowing Benny probably told her to throw them away or, get rid of them.
When
And
did
now
this?
they're acting like somebody brought them there.
Was
I do
how?
not believe anyone brought them there, to be perfectly honest with you. I think those things were already there.
Oh, I'm sure they were. When did this
Yeah,
happen?
who better to blame than Ernie, who we all know is in Florida, and we've seen the background where he's at many times, and he's
Yeah,
nowhere in Tennessee. Yeah.
yeah,
So let's blame Ernie. That's just
right.
weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
But Candace better think twice. I hope she unscrubbed them down before she threw them in that trash can, because the police get a hold of them, they're more than likely going to check them for DNA
Right.
against the children. So, you know, Candace ain't very smart.
She's a damn good actress, though. I mean, yeah,
Well,
you know,
these are people that, in my opinion, and it is my opinion, are evil enough to do something to this 5-year-old child and hide it. And, so how much more evil could they have been?
yeah, I agree with you.
That's just what I'm saying.
I
I
mean
just
that.
put it out there the way I feel about it.
I mean, I felt sick to me. Really when I heard, like I said, I can't remember who said it. That Don, when his mother was dying and she couldn't move or talk, and that he was torturing her with some like cassette tapes of some creepy shit. That's evil.
Candace probably can't wait for Benny to get there so she could pop one of them in his mouth. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go, Benny. Hurry
Yeah,
on out there, buddy.
yeah.
Or just making my face feel like no way. Look at smash no way.
That's funny.
I'm not going to. One.
Is Benny saying that he's gonna go stay with Candace or what?
I reckon. I mean, I heard that she told him about the trash can, and now he can't wait to get there. I don't know. I'm just saying what I'm just saying what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um,
Gosh.
Can't sugarcoat it when it's, you know,
Yeah.
truth. What can I say?
Right.
I think Benny should get there as fast as he can.
Well, she looked pretty happy in that whirlpool jacuzzi with Benny at the hotel. Ugh.
Yeah, they did look pretty happy there, didn't they?
Right.
They absolutely look
I'm just when Don being in jail and being sober, I wonder what he's gonna be thinking and going through. I mean, I'm not defending him by any means, but like I said, they've been drunk and on drugs throughout this whole thing. And when he is sober and realizes what really happened here, I mean, if he's a sociopath, he's not going to care. But you know what I'm saying? I think
my thing is, I don't mean to cut you off, hon. My thing is why are they building a wall between the front door and the boys' room when they should have there's another kitchen door that leads outside. Why don't they just open that one back up that's off from the kitchen there?
yeah, and it's so
That
weird
that
that when
originally
you
came up into the living room, what's supposed to be a living room.
and
Why don't they open that back up, actually drywalling over the other
Mhm.
door and siding over it on the outside and making a door you know, a door off the living room that goes into the boys' bedroom. That way, you know, what's the purpose of these people needing a door to lead to a child's bedroom anyway? They had a door in the
Yeah.
basement leading to Summer's room. They had a door upstairs leading to the boy. What the fuck is going on with these doors and leading them right to the children? I
Yeah,
mean,
that,
parents keep their children away from doors, right?
yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, I'm just putting it out there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
Most-
agree. No, that's some creepy. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's some creepy shit.
And then it's like when you right when you walk in
And
their
then
house,
and then they got a
bedroom.
then they got a big ass trash can full of sex toys and shit. Is that, you know, is that not, you know, a big red flag? You know,
Yeah.
he's got like, you know, a freaking couple handfuls of you know,
Yeah.
sicko toys. You know,
Yeah.
who needs that many fucking toys?
God.
You know, sound like somebody around there was constantly fucking herself. That's all I can say.
What?
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
You know, hell,
Yeah.
I'm just calling it like I see it. That's kind of nasty up there.
Yeah.
Saying and who
Save
the
a-
hell puts that out here in the public?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Really? I mean, Candace had to share that bit of information with all of us. Come on, give me a break, bitch. I don't want to hear that. That's just
Oh.
nasty.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it is a big red flag.
Yep. And it's sad, you know. When she was down in the dungeon with Chris McDonough, she's like, "Oh, and there's her toys," and I was like, "What toys? I didn't even see it." She had a few rummage
Keystone. G Mom, is that what you call yourself? G Stone, G Mom. Oh, let me tell you something. Big red flag. All the lies PG puts out. You know what's it? What did I lie about tonight? Everybody heard about the trash can full of
Who's
weirdo
saying?
toys.
Who's
You know that
Who's
ain't no
saying?
that ain't no lie. There's no lie there. There's no lie there. The doors do lead to those kids' bedrooms. There's no lie
don't
there,
see-
lady or man or whatever you say you're a mom. So I don't know.
What's
But-
the name? I don't see this person.
I'm right there. I'm looking at her, and you know where do I lie? I don't lie at all. I call it like I see it, and you can't handle the
Yeah.
truth. That's the problem right there.
I
know,
love that about you too.
That's the
You don't
problem. Why
care.
don't you take a
Mhm.
link and come up on my panel and tell me how I lie?
That's
Why-
the
why
thing.
don't-
They're-
Why don't you
They're
do that, Keystone G Mom,
yeah, and there's little
you
keyboard
hard-ass
warriors.
bitch? You know, if you want to be a snot nosed hard ass,
They
bitch,
have
bring it on up
they're
here.
miserable individuals.
Bring that ass up here.
Right. They
I want you
they
on
won't
panel.
say it to your face, never.
Yeah, you want to sit down there and chat and talk shit?
Yep.
Already
Little keyboard
already
warriors.
got money and took away. No, bitch, because over here we support our channel. We support our channel. Y'all thought you was going to damage something, but you know what?
Yeah.
You have, because these good people here, they've been supporting and helping PG, and I am so grateful.
Yeah,
and thankful
and we're not
for it.
going anywhere.
Bitch,
We
you know what? Either take the link and come on up here, or I'm about 2 seconds. I'm blocking your ass.
What's her name? I don't see anything.
Her name's Keystone G Mom. Come on.
Come on up here. You know, come on.
Price is right, bitch. Bring it on up here.
That was good. My son, go to sleep.
Oh,
that was-
baby, hearing that.
That's hilarious. Price is right.
She ain't bringing it up here.
know that.
Yeah.
No, they never will.
They've never
Just what I thought. Just what I thought, hon.
Yeah.
You ain't bringing it nowhere because because you're just nasty.
Yeah.
You're gonna come around that sut.
You go to sleep.
I'm laughing,
You need to be asleep.
but I'm laughing.
Yeah. They'll never come up. They would, and
I'll bring you up. How you doing, Wisconsin mama?
Oh, I'm
Hi,
good. I
Catherine.
wasn't gonna come up tonight, but holy crap, I can't miss out on this much fun.
Hold your hand.
You got two Wisconsinites, PG. We got good, great cheese and beer and football.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, evil man. You don't even have to go looking for it. It just comes trying to
Oh.
find.
And it's getting worse by the hour.
I read that comment and I'm like, come on, PG, you got to see that comment. You got to bite on her. Bite on her now.
Oh hell yeah! I don't know why God let my eyes catch it, but I did. I was like, you know what? If God lands PG's eyes on it, bitch, I'm gonna be all over you.
So I
All
got to
you.
tell you a story to what happened tonight. You guys aren't going to believe this. I mean, like, what are the odds? So I go into a store tonight, right? Gonna go do some things with the grandkids, whatever. Watch their basketball games. But I go into a store tonight, and as I'm just walking in, one of the cashiers is talking to the other cashier, and she is like, "Yep, that Don Wells on 110 Ben Hill Road is gonna leave when he gets out of jail, right?" This is what she says, and I'm like, "What? Wait a minute."
Okay, sweetheart, if you close the camera, I'll bring you up.
Deputy Sheriff, I love your avatar.
I cannot. Go
everyone-
ahead. I want to hear the rest of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'm like, I just like stop right in my tracks because you don't hear it up here, you know? And so I got what I got, and I get there to the cashier, and I looked, and here it is, Candace's sister.
Wow.
Oh,
Jeannie.
Yeah, working there.
Wow.
So I mean, like, here's me,
That's crazy.
here's me. I'm like,
just
let me hear some more of that stuff, you know?
It was Jeannie.
Yeah.
Oh wow! And did she talk to you?
No, no, no.
Did you try talking to her?
No, I wanted to, but there was other customers in the store. But it was just so funny because it's like I walk in there and it's like,
Small
when
world.
Don gets out of jail, he'll be leaving that hill 110 Ben Hill Road, or he'll be leaving that hill, and I'm like,
What?
it just stopped me right in my tracks.
What store was this?
Oh, I can't say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, we can't dox her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I get to, like I said, I get to the checkout and I look up and it's like her, and I'm like,
That's crazy.
tell me more,
Oh,
Yeah.
and
but
that's what she was saying.
that's what she was saying to the other cashier.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, there was nobody in there but me and the other two. And then when I went to go check out, some other people had walked in, but I was like, oh, come on, lady, talk to me here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I want to
know.
hear this.
Yeah.
I would have been all up in that conversation. I would have been like, "You talking about Don Wells, the one?" That, I mean, I would have been like, "Scoop it out,"
I know. I
Absolutely.
really,
We're
really
gonna be here all
wanted to.
day.
Believe me, I was almost putting my life on the line for that tonight, So,
I heard that. Oh,
so
God.
it's just kind of like, it was just so, I don't know, it was just weird,
Oh yeah, they're leaving. That's what I heard too. I heard that they're not fixing a house to get back to boys. They're fixing it to sell it.
Oh, wow. I believe it.
They definitely.
I would be willing to bet that they've signed their rights away for the boys.
I don't think so yet.
But you know what?
I don't know.
Since they have done nothing to get them to work toward getting them back, the judge can take their rights away.
Yeah, but I don't think it's, I mean, personally, it's just my personal opinion. I don't think it's gone that far yet.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You know, because with Don still being in jail, and I mean,
Right.
do we know? Does anybody know for a fact if she is taking her classes or if she's not?
Well, I don't know.
Because if she's not,
I heard that they're not complying.
oh,
That's what I heard. I mean,
I
I don't know
think
how
they are.
truth it is, but from what Donald told me, Candace is not complying. She was supposed to be getting sober. I know
Yeah.
that they put that upon her.
You,
About when she was up on my panel. The last time she was up on my panel, I know that was one of the stipulations that they had to
Yeah.
stop the drinking and get sober.
yeah,
they
And
also,
as you
they
can
also-
see, she has not gotten sober. She dropped
And they-
30 again, and she's not getting sober. So, if she loses, custody of the boys, then well, she's already lost custody. But I'm saying if she parental rights, of getting them back, it
right.
wouldn't shock me.
Well,
It would
here-
shock me in the least.
CPS here now, if your children are temporarily removed, you have to get therapy, a dual diagnosis, mental health and addiction. And also they might require a parenting class. And it's not a short process. And they haven't anything. They haven't done one thing that I've seen.
When it comes to the Wells, it's going to be with the Wells family. They're going to have to do what they call random drug drops, and that's
Yep.
where a CPS worker comes by or calls you and says you need to go such and such place now.
Yeah.
You've got like a few hours to get there. If you get there and you're not clean, then you do not get your kids back. Trust and believe that.
Yeah, because it's going to be totally up to whoever their social worker is.
And also with Candace having accusations that she
With
hit
Hunter,
attacked her children by multiple witnesses, they're going to have to take anger management classes.
Yeah.
mhm.
And they're also going to have to take parenting classes.
They'll probably have-
Yeah. So, there's a lot of things to take in consideration here. And they've got stipulations on the home and all these things that need to be taken care of at the home before the boys can return. And to be perfectly honest, I don't see, she had a 6-month plan and failed it. And now we're going on, because that ended in December.
Okay.
So, now we're going into March. So we're almost 2 months over that. So,
Well, I can tell you, as this is a personal story, and I don't mind sharing it because, in 2006, or they put me on Xanax because I have severe anxiety and panic disorder. This was back in 2005, and that stuff is so addicting. I got so addicted to it, and my son at the time was 2.5, and my parents called CPS on me. And I'm grateful they did, because I was out of, when you're taking that crap, you don't think about anything. I was putting us in situations where, something bad could happen. So I know, they made me take, and I did everything right away because I had to do, it was addiction and mental health therapy, and then the social worker comes into the house often. And, I did everything that was required of me, and I've never touched that crap again. But you know,
Yeah.
they have to what from what we see, they are making no efforts to get the boys back. So
No, no,
you can't
but
even get
remember,
pictures. They're on
this.
YouTube.
It's so quiet in the house. I can't stand it. The only thing I can hear is the refrigerator running. I can't stand it. It's so quiet in here. Well, you know, if you want your boys back, then comply.
Right. Mallory, that's what I'm on now, and for some reason, Klonopin, I can manage it. I don't take extras. I don't know why, because they're all benzos, you know. But yeah. But you know, I owned my mistakes. I didn't blame other people.
absolutely.
I mean, when I was on the crap, I did. I mean, you know, but once I realized I had a problem and got my shit together, you know, I owned my screw ups.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't. They just, you know, like Don and Candace, they blame everybody else for their problems.
Instead of blaming themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, that's
They
what a
do.
drug addict does. You know, they blame everybody but themselves.
Yep.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing is summer as of which we're going into March now. And as of the 15th of March, summer will be gone. You know, it'd be 9 months.
So
The
sad.
boys have already, you know, the boys have be gone
8 months, yeah.
7 months
7.
at the time, you know, or 8. You're right, 8 because they got took. I think the first week of July they got took.
Yeah.
In the middle of July, Don and Candace went to court for the boys were already took. On the middle of July is when they showed up at court for their hearing. So, you know, the boys have been gone 8 months now. Summer almost, you know, is going on 9.
Time goes fast.
It is, you
I
know,
the
it's
same thing.
ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean, she shouldn't have ever. What's a 6-month plan? What really 6
I don't-
months?
I
those
don't know. I
parents
never heard
couldn't-
of that. You just when was it with my situation, that was what was required of me, and I did it. I was done ahead of time with everything.
yeah.
But
They
I've
usually
never
give
heard
you.
of them. I've never heard of CPS saying you got this many months to get your act together. I don't know, but
most parents would have went. You know, most parents would have became what they call crash dummies. They would have crashed off of all of the drugs and alcohol. They would have got that house fixed. They would have. I don't care if they were pouring sweat while they done it. You know, having withdrawals and everything else. I mean, if you really love somebody, you really love somebody, you will walk through hell to keep them with you. And you know, it's not normal for a parent not to love their children.
yeah.
The way Candace Wells and Donald Wells, in my opinion, act like they don't care about these kids. And
So
that, you know,
yeah,
I ain't ever seen cases like this before. I mean,
not this one. I've never seen
I have
anything
never-
like this one.
I don't think any of us have ever seen anything like this.
So I'm kind of wondering if they had 6 months to get the house fixed up for the children, and then I wonder if they had, I should say they had, you know, a 90-day. Maybe the judge had ordered 90-day,
no,
or the social
they had
worker
six,
had
they had 6
recommended
months.
90 days to get to do
They
these
had-
classes.
They had 6 months to get everything done that needed to be done. They
Well,
had
do you
6
know
months.
that?
Because when you don't understand, if you go and you drop clean and they watch you, I mean, I know they watch you when you go to,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, take
Yeah.
a piss.
Yeah.
I've been in the medical field long enough and around it that I know, you
Yep.
know, they absolutely watch people, you know, they
Well,
walk
yeah,
in
you
the
can't bring
bathroom, have
anything in
to
there.
have to watch, and that, you know, it ain't coming out of a little bottle hooked to a you know, a long stem.
Yeah, don't they
Um,
put some kind of dye in the toilet
Yeah,
too?
or they ain't squeezing out a ketchup bottle.
Oh,
Um,
he's
you
talking
know,
about.
some piss out or somebody else's piss.
Well, you know what they do? They do here, like if you have to do, if you, like if you're on probation, for example, they go in the bathroom with you now.
That's what I've
They,
been
In
told.
your own home. In your own home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they go right in there with you.
and so they got to make sure that it's your urine. They give you the test. If it don't come back clean, then you don't get your kids back. But if you go there and you drop clean, if you drop clean every time within 3 or 4 times, and you get your and you go and you get your all of your psychological evaluations done, and you go
Mhm.
running
Yeah.
and you get your parenting classes done, and you run and you get, and these things only take a few weeks. I
Yeah.
mean, you could have it all done.
I
You could
had
have it all
everything
done
I had to do.
within 2
I
months.
had
You would have
everything
everything
done.
done, dropping clean, and ready to have the children returned. That's
Yeah.
how quick you can do it if you work at it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
um, most people ain't working at it.
Well, exactly.
And
Yeah.
Exactly. And then when
in that house they got, Donald being a contractor the way he is, being able to do drywall and everything the way he's able to do it, and as much help as people coming up there offering to help and so
Yeah.
forth
been
during
generous.
this, they could have had a house full of people up there, and that house blowed out within a few days if they wanted to.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
wall in that, I mean, this house is 700 and some square feet, not
That's-
even 800
Yeah,
square
that's
feet.
that's small.
They could have blew that shit out in no time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But don't
And
forget now, she's got people coming to help her drywall on Sunday.
And you know what else is weird? I heard Robin, some people were offering them a fridge, and Robin's like, they don't need that. What the hell? Of course
Robin
they need
from the
it.
church.
Yeah. Some people, I think they were being offered a free refrigerator and a stove, and Robin turned them away, said they don't need that.
Oh yeah, people were
the hell?
offering them doors too. I mean, when
Uh,
I did the 15-minute of the Benny channel the other day, there were people on there offering doors, offering to come help her drywall. I
they don't
mean,
want it.
and yeah, she's like, I'm doing it on Sunday, I got a lift. I just need a couple of guys to help me screw the screws in, and I'm like, wow, okay, So
Oh, so this will just be a less than a 5-minute thing. But can I bring up Jody Sue her garden?
absolutely, please do.
Okay, I mean it's pretty silly and pretty funny, but I thought you might get a kick out of it. So when I first saw that she had a channel, of course I was nosy, and of course I went on, and it's the most boring situation you could ever imagine, because she doesn't talk to anyone except her
Like who?
kids. She puts you on mute. She goes to the restroom. It's unbelievable.
Who
But
is this?
Jody Sue.
Oh,
So
How did you-
anyway, so someone said, and I noticed something different about her. Someone said to her, Jody Sue, your lips are perfect. Did you get lip injections? And she's like, no, usually I have my top lip over my bottom one, blah blah blah. So me, just for the heck of it, I went back and I looked at some older pictures before the fundraiser. I'm telling you, I am pretty convinced that she got lip injections.
She was apparently a stripper.
Yeah, but I'm saying she had no money, and then they do a fundraiser. I probably shouldn't be so petty, but
Well, I don't understand how you even
was
understood
pissed.
anything she said.
I was pissed because I was listening. I'm like, why are they raising money for her? This is about summer,
They raise money for her to get
get her lip enhancement.
Have you seen that picture of Molly Goodlightly with those big lips?
Oh
Oh,
God,
Lord.
okay. Jody Sue's are not like Molly's.
No.
They're like a step above, like what they were. But you can see they're really plump. They're definitely. I feel, and it wasn't me that noticed it. Someone else did, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, they are like too perfect to be true. And
I honestly, sorry.
no,
Go ahead.
no, it's it.
Christina
I
said
honestly
lip
can't
pumping
stand
stuff.
listening or seeing her. I can't listen to that woman.
I can't understand her. That's why I
I
don't
know.
listen to her.
Well, I can understand her, but she doesn't say anything. I was like hanging wherever I could see a live waiting for PG. I'm like, all right, let me see what she's saying. I don't comment. I just listen.
Right.
And she said nothing. I was there like half hour. So the chat pretty much they all like each other, which is lovely. And
Yeah.
it seems like the chat go there to see each other, and that's that. I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
this is the last place I would buy a subscription, or I would pay for membership. I mean, like half of the time she's not even on or talking, or she'll start looking up into the air, or it's almost like, it almost angers me. It's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, but does it sound like, I mean, like, she's so slow when she talks.
Mallory,
she
you're killing me.
Kind of spoke slow though, right? And then she had the operation. um I don't know. All I can say is she is, she's not very interesting.
Jody
no,
Sue.
because
Jody Sue gets disability. Her
Mhm.
son works a job, been working a job, and she has one daughter, teenage daughter,
Yeah.
and she gets child support from her dad as well.
Is
Jody
Andy?
Sue is not hurting for money. She
Yeah.
gets plenty of money, but yet she's sucking all of these people for more.
Oh yeah. And
well, didn't she get enough money to get she put on there that she was looking for money to get a trailer or something, and she got enough money off of the
I don't know what the
donations.
what
Yeah,
the
that's
amount
what
was,
she's.
but people were sending in. I was on Doug's. It was before I stopped watching him, and
Yeah.
I mean, that whole night he let all the money go to her, and people were just throwing it at her.
I know. I went in there and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I laughed, but I have no respect for him. I'm sorry anymore. I liked him, but after this ridiculous, nasty.
I just get annoyed with all of his soundboard things. Like people will be talking,
Well,
having a serious conversation.
I was on his channel, and all I
Yeah.
got thrown at me was bricks.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, what is it called? Like
but
slaps,
he
slaps,
claims he
Bergman,
claims
I'm
that
surprised they didn't tar and feather you.
yeah, but no, he claims that he's he says that Don talks to Candace is so horrible and he's for women and against domestic violence. You should see the email response I got from him. And I didn't care for Cher. And then it is kind of funny. Shut up, Cher. But I mean, if he's all about treating women with respect, he's just a hypocrite.
I don't watch any of them anymore.
I only watch like Crime Lines and Lies and
I don't watch none of them.
don't ever listen to what people say. Don't ever listen to what people say. Pay attention to their actions. They're,
Right.
you can say anything.
So
And there's just so many people say one thing, but their actions talk a whole
Actions
different
speak
ball game.
And I think that we
Actions
talked
speak
about
louder than
this.
words. Absolutely.
We talked about this the other night. Always go with your gut feeling.
yeah, and a little
Oh,
bit of
hell. Mine
and
has always been right.
So, PD, did you ever have an opportunity to speak to Ernie about the pictures that he was posting of Summer, to give an example of?
That was just for awareness, because that's what he does. I heard he was on like twice today. I don't know if he was
I
or
just
not.
Yeah. Are you okay with that?
I
Um,
thought you were just gonna.
Wait.
him bringing awareness to
Well, showing the shots he showed. Yeah, they were pretty
I
graphic
I
shots.
But
went to
I
look.
but
I went to
Wait,
look at them, and they weren't there. The video had been took down.
yeah, he took it down, but I got to see it before it went. It was the ones.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, she was standing up against. You might remember because they're out there someplace where she was.
Oh yeah, I've seen them all.
Okay. But anyway,
I've seen them,
I
but
I,
you know,
I thought
you know,
I thought
I think I would have approached it in a different
oh
manner.
yeah, absolutely.
well
But
I thought you were just gonna explain to him that people took it the wrong way or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's what I thought also.
you
I mean,
know,
because the only reason I didn't really care for him, but because of my respect for you, like I would always be respectful to him.
right. Well,
For
I
you.
don't. You know, I think that you know him. You know, we're women, and we, you know, we're not as, you know, like, take for instance, as women, we answer the door. Well, not PG, because PG's kind of, you know, you guys know PG. PG don't have a husband open the door, so I got to kind of open the doors myself.
Yeah.
So, you know, but, you know, being women, we know when, you know, okay, how we want to open a door up. Hi, how are you? We really don't want to talk to them. You know, we're kind of nice about it. We go around, you know, okay, and we close the door like, goodness, why do we have to put up with that one today? But, you know, we were very respectful at the door. Now, you know how a man opens the door. What the hell you want? We
Yeah.
don't want none. Get the
Right.
hell out of here.
Right.
Men
No,
are
my husband
for it.
invites them all in.
You know, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, that's the men.
Yeah.
So I think when it came to Ernie, I
Mhm.
think that, you know, where we would have took, like, you know, for me, when I showed the pool, the panda, I cut Summer out of it, except for her little feet to show that Candace
Yeah.
did have her there.
Yeah.
I don't think Ernie thought of, you know, of that part of it.
Yeah.
I know that he could have put a blur shield, you
Mhm.
know, above her,
Yeah.
and, you know, and explained,
Right.
you know,
He doesn't.
about,
His shows right now, PG, are all about defending himself, and I don't know why I think he should just have good mods, block all of these people that are going after him, and just go on with his show, go on with his mission.
absolutely,
He
you know,
hasn't shown anything worthwhile. Like, I don't know, it's been a good 5 days or something.
as you know, that's why he started his channel, so he don't have to defend himself anymore.
Exactly,
He
but that's what
started his own channel so
Right.
he could do what he wants to do,
so don't.
and he should be doing it. You are absolutely
That's
right.
what
I
I
agree
don't.
with you so much.
He certainly wouldn't listen to me, but if you like him, it wouldn't be a bad thing to say as a friend, you know.
Well, definitely, you know, definitely I will,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, I will support Ernie
Mhm.
until I have reason not to, and so
Yep.
far I have no reasons whatsoever not
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
And you know, that's just who and how I am. And I'm 100%. I got your back, 100%.
Yes.
And you know, until
Do you feel you get the same from him?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Cool. Very cool.
You know, I think, you know, I think he's a really good person. You know, Benny, you know, I really liked Benny. I really did. I loved Benny to death. I prayed for Benny all the time.
You
But-
didn't pray hard enough.
But he obviously, you know, obviously not. But I don't give up hope on Benny. I still hope that he turns himself around. He gets right and he does what he needs to
He
do.
might turn around after he gets on Ben Hill Road.
You should always put God first. Absolutely put God first. But
Yeah, I know that he's a believer. I doesn't appear that he is.
Well, and
Like
that
I
pisses
said,
me
he
off.
might turn around when he gets on Ben Hill Road.
yeah,
Oh God, yeah.
I don't. I wouldn't go to Ben Hill Road after turnaround. I just stay where I'm at. But
No.
I don't know why Benny feels compelled to do these things and to act the way he's acting and so forth and so on.
Did you about what he did to you or not? You didn't bother.
I'm saying what he's doing with the wells,
Oh.
the way that he feels like, because I know if we know, he knows.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
stupid.
We
And-
do know. We do
you know,
know.
If Don
Benny-
wasn't,
Benny
ahead.
definitely knows what Don and Candace Wells are. Definitely.
Oh, wow.
But I think like Chris McDonough said, he thought if there weren't interruptions at the swimming hole there, he thought Candace would have confessed or told him what happened. But with Benny, he's preventing anybody trying to find Summer because like
I don't
they
know.
want.
I think I'll agree. Let them keep talking because the more they talk, the more they slip up.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but
Yeah, but when he's to me, like, I feel like he's a big spider
Right.
and he's got he's
Yeah.
got this couple, entangled in his web.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. And PG, was he on you? Was he a YouTube person before he got involved in this case?
Who, Benny?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, he was.
He was.
And yes, and he messed up the Cash Gurner case from what my understanding. He blames it on Doug. Doug
Oh,
blames
and
it
the
on
West
him. I
Boys.
don't know.
And the West Boys. There's what is that? He's what is his name? He has a channel, a big black dude. What is his name? But I was watching him for a while, and I don't know exactly what happened, but Benny was involved, which quote advocating for them. But I don't know exactly what all he did, but this dude hates him. Like Benny must have did some really shady stuff in that
Well,
case.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that. I just know that I heard about the one case that they and I think you're right about the West Boys as well. I'm not sure. I just know that
that he acts like he has a college education in psychology.
no, he does not have a college education at all. He has a backstreet jailhouse education.
There you go.
Feeling like he's running on common sense, and
he knows how to con people.
And he's man,
he's a
he didn't even get the Happy Meal in his or the toy in his Happy Meal. That's how short he is. He wasn't able to even get the toy. I mean, that goes to tell you a child's way smarter than Benny because at least they get the damn toy.
I like the toys.
Yeah.
I have a whole box of those toys.
I have some Halloween ones for decades. I love them.
But he's a smooth talker.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, he's smooth enough to be able to. He has all those people supporting him. He's a con. That's all.
120 acres.
Well,
what is that supposed to mean?
You always got that.
Somebody, come on.
You always have that. You're gonna always have that. That crowd of people that want to. They don't support him. They don't support him. They just pretend to support him. They're hoping to get the information that they want, out of this case. And
that's
basically, you got to, you got to understand, um, you know what's going on over there because they feel like, Benny's got, um,
I
personally,
don't care for. I don't like. I don't care
personally,
for earning it.
I don't go to Benny's because, the Bible says, we're not supposed to, if it offends your eyes, pluck them out. Well, I don't want to go over there and see the kind of trash that he has. If it offends your ears, cut them off. I'm not trying to go over there because, Benny don't get upset once in a while and use a few things. I mean, this is somebody that really talks bad and harsh and ugly about people all the time. I mean, I seen where
Yes.
he attacked one creator last week, and I mean, like a whole week for like 4 hours at a time, he is
Yeah.
sitting on there just bashing this person, and I'm like, I don't know what she did, and I don't think any human could do anything, bad enough to get someone to bash him like that. But he really carried on something fierce, you know,
Yeah.
um, on this lady. And not only that, but I guess was having her children threatened that she had to get off the bus, and she did run to get them. Um, so who does that to a person? I mean, he don't just attack. And if you took note, you really don't ever see him attack no men. He's always attacking women
Yeah.
and their children.
Yep.
And that to me is just, that to me, that's a yellow belly bastard right there.
Oh, complete
Now,
dumbass.
you
Complete dumbass.
who goes around, he don't want his mother attacked, but he'll attack other people's mothers and the children as well. Are
Yeah.
you serious?
It
Yeah,
makes
you
no
do
sense.
not
I mean,
bring.
did his
don't
mother
bring-
not have his mother did not teach him to have the respect for
Oh,
women,
right. Exactly.
for women or for children. And that's why he's
Yeah.
the way he is today. What I'm saying is, we want men to have respect for our daughters. Well, teach your sons to have respect for women as well.
Of course.
But yet he sits and
Yeah.
advocates for Summer and Candace.
Right. And men like that, men like that are the reason that a lot of women have to go into hiding. The reason a lot of women have to go into shelters and
Yeah.
and other
Mhm.
things out of abuse and so forth and so on. And I am not going to sit there and support someone that abuses women and children the way they do.
Oh,
You
absolutely
just
not.
do that
Absolutely
and
not.
sit there and dox people or
Yeah.
try to dox people. You're a worthless piece of shit when you do. Don't do anything to people you wouldn't have them doing to you,
Right.
I mean, to come out and maybe make a little fun of somebody or get a little laugh or whatever is one thing. If they're poking at you,
Yeah,
you
but
need poking them back a little bit.
mhm.
But to viciously attack the way he did that woman and her children and everything,
Yeah, I heard
and
about
right,
that.
and the way he did Ziggy and her daughter,
Yeah.
and and he really ruthlessly goes after these people.
Yeah, because he tries to push them out of the limelight, out of the limelight. So he is getting all the views
Well,
and the attention. But it was just plain mean. I
that's
mean,
negative attention.
yeah,
He's getting negative attention.
exactly. And let him
And
have
if
it.
he thinks those people over there are supporting him, they're not. They know exactly what he is, how he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And, and he ain't got nothing but a bunch of fake friends that, really can't stand him themselves. They're just over there for the information
Yeah.
for some
Yeah.
reason.
Did,
I
did
don't
I
know.
did I miss the Frank Light relative interview? Did you all do that before?
I missed
I
it
know.
too.
I haven't
missed it.
got to that yet.
Oh,
Frank
okay.
Light,
Oh, good. Okay, good. I didn't know what time you came on, so I thought maybe I missed it.
no,
Yeah.
I got a little late tonight. Frank Light is they
I'm not
it's
rushing you.
a family from Tennessee. He has brothers. They're called the Light brothers. They don't hold a good reputation in Tennessee. Everybody seems to be scared of them, afraid of them. They bash them a lot, and they talk behind their backs. What they do, they don't talk to their faces because they're scared of them, but they bash them behind their backs. And Frank Light is one of them right now that they're trying to throw under. Well, they was trying to do Don Senior because he had a son. Well, Don Senior had a girlfriend up there over from the Wells. Actually, it's Don Wells' stepdad's cousin, and her daughter. The daughter is Don Senior's girlfriend. Her mother is his girlfriend's mother is the cousin to Don Wells' stepdad, which is the goat. That was married to Don's mother, Karen. But anyway, they was trying to put him under the bus first, which was Senior. And then when they seen Senior was, actually in the police force and everything, and they couldn't, and a clean record, couldn't get enough. They went after his son when they found his son had a little something on him. And they went after, tried to attack him to get the focus off of Don and Candace Wells again. And I shut that down. And so that's why right now I'm walking through hell a little bit, but it's okay.
Uh-oh.
Because you know what? I walk through hell for the truth. And that's, so therefore, it is what it is. And I don't regret it at all. I do not. If I could take it back, I wouldn't. There you go. And now since that went, under the bus for them, they want to put this Frank Light under the bus, which, and like I said, Frank Light done some bad things himself, but he went to jail. He paid for it, and it is what it is. But just because you committed a crime, a different crime, does not mean you have anything to do with this case at all. And Don and Candace try to go around handpicking anyone they can, in order to get the focus off themselves. And I knew they were doing this early on, and that is why I'm going to continue shutting it down, because I'm not going to let the focus get off of them again. It's not happening. And so yes, I did make a phone call to Frank Light. He was there, but he's not speaking to anyone due to the fact that a lot of people's been calling. They've been trying to harass him and so forth and so on. But I did speak with his family member, a nice gentleman that was there
Wow.
with him. And
So, from the same household?
from the same household, yes.
Oh.
He lives there as well. And he took the phone call, and he was the one that talked with me. So I'm going to play what he had to say to me. My voice is not in it because for some reason, I don't know why, the recording messed up somewhat, but you can hear everything he was saying, and you can pretty much understand the questions that I was asking him. But I'll go over the questions that I was asking him. I asked him if he knew humans were trying to throw Frank under the bus, that they've got his name back out here. I asked him that.
Mm-hmm.
What does he think happened to Summer? I asked him that. I asked him about Frank, because Donald said Frank Light was on a horse riding up around the caves and stuff. I asked him about that. He answered, and I said, I asked him what his name was again during the time, and he had told me. I asked him why people are afraid of Frank. I definitely ain't afraid of Frank, and he said there's no reason to be afraid of Frank either. And and I definitely wasn't afraid of this gentleman. He was very kind and nice. I asked him also about everyone saying that law enforcement told Frank to check his own property and so forth. And so I'm going to let you guys listen, and you'll
Yeah,
get
thank you.
answers from this gentleman.
Good job.
Hello? No, this is Grady. Grady? Who is this? No, hold on. What do you want? What about? You need to tell me what it's about first. People have been calling here harassing. I need to know what it's about first. Let me. About what? That's why I'm screening the calls for him. There's been a lot of people calling here trying to do that to him. He has not talked to nobody but the police that questioned him. He has not been on any websites to talk about it. He does not have opinion. He answered the police questions. He's already investigating. He has nothing to do with it. Yeah, he was working almost 3 miles from his house, which was like 4 miles from their house, maybe 5, as the crow flies, not roads. And he was in the opposite direction, behind the church, working on a farm, clearing the brush line when the girl got missed. And there were witnesses. He had nothing to do with it. I'm not saying anything on that. I have no opinion. He has no opinion. He's out of it. He has no dog in that race. He's upset about the girl being missing, but he had nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do, and he has no opinion on them or anyone else because he had nothing to do with it. No, he don't even have horses. His brother has horses, but he doesn't have horses. He was working, and he's never been in those caves. There's caves all in those hills, everywhere. There's all over the place, and it's hard to tell what cave he's talking about. He wasn't looking for nobody. He stayed at home the whole time. The only time he leaves the home place was when he was working on that property and to go to the grocery store, and that was it. Otherwise, he stayed put in the house. He didn't bother nobody or nothing. I'm a member of his family, yeah. Grady.
That's Frank Light, PG.
That's not Frank. That's
Well,
a family member.
Like I said, we have no opinion on it. We mind their business, and we're not throwing anything out there against them. We're not even dignifying any of them with a reply. Neither is he. He has not been on those sites. He does not. He don't like what's being said about him, but he kept his mouth shut. He reported everything to his registry officer and said that he had nothing to do with it. So he's been interviewed. He's been questioned. His whereabouts were all of it. There's nothing to be afraid of. No, he did his time, and that's it. He did his time, and he's out, and he's trying to get on with it. I mean, and the police even came and searched the property, searched everything around the house. They went through his belongings and everything. He had nothing to do with it. No, they searched it. They searched it. And most of it's from his estranged wife who started the whole thing. He spends most of his days here at the house taking care of me. Yeah. And the only time he goes into town is when he's got to pay his car insurance and get groceries or go to register. Otherwise, he's here with me or around the barn cleaning and taking care of my animals. That's about the only time he leaves the property.
There you go. The day Summer came up missing, Frank Light was working with some other people, some other gentlemen, and he had plenty of witnesses to say he was there and they were working, clearing some brush away from the farm, a farm that they was helping to work on. So, which happened to be 5 miles away, behind a church. So, in the opposite direction of the Wells property. That's where he was. All that day. They started morning and he was working till way late evening. So, and he had, as I said, a lot of witnesses, other hands working with him that knows he was there and he was working right alongside of them. So, and he did not go horsebacking anywhere. Sheriff Lawson did not ask him to go out looking for Summer. He did not get on a horse. He was not out looking for Summer on a horse at all. He was working that whole day. And then even when they got wind that Summer had came up missing, he still just continued. And the man that I spoke with is an older gentleman that a member of the family that Frank lives with, and he helps take care of, and he runs errands for and chauffeurs around and does things to help with this gentleman and his family and so forth. So that's pretty much,
Well,
what it is.
how did this man's name even come up?
What are you talking about?
Well, like, how did you know to call this guy? I mean, am I
I
missing?
called Frank, not this guy. But this guy's answering Frank's phone because Frank does not want to talk to anybody due to the fact that they are harassing him. So he has this family member answering his phone for him
Mm,
and, to see who it is before Frank answers.
yeah. It sounded like a very nice gentleman.
He is a beautiful person. He really
Yes.
is. He's a wonderful
Yes.
person. And
Huh.
so, and like I said, the family is not scary like everyone says. And I do not know why people try to make them out to be that way.
Oh. Hmm. And well, it's just because it's the first time I ever heard his name. That's why I was wondering who he was.
I have no
You know.
idea why. I mean, even Donald's scared to death of the lights, or at least acts like he is.
Yeah.
But
Donald's good at pretending too.
absolutely, because in this photo, they're at the fair, and
Oh, that
Right here.
guy.
right there you can see that Frank is photobombing them.
Yep. Yep.
He was with them at the fair that day. So Donald's really scared of Frank? I don't think so.
Yeah. Because I know when I saw that photo that they were making it look like it was this guy that was following them, to
I wouldn't put it past them.
huh.
I'm gonna get down, PG. I'm tired, and let someone else come up.
All right, sweetheart. Well, the panel
gonna
holds
be
again, but
I'll be listening.
okay.
All
Good
right.
night. Good night, sweetie.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, because I was wondering who that guy was when I saw that picture.
Right. And
And I can see, that it made, people suspicious. But
well, yeah,
not-
I can, but as you heard his family member say,
yep.
he had an alibi. And no, the police did not let him check his own property. They came there, they went all over it, and they checked it for him.
Yeah.
They checked it. The police was all over him ASAP, like immediately all over him.
And I suppose it was because of this picture,
No, it wasn't
No?
because of this picture. It's because he had been in trouble before, and the Wells were immediately, throwing the people that they, like Dudley, the co-worker that had been pissed at him under the bus, Mr. Dobbs that had been up there to try to get his land and couldn't, the light boys that already had, a bad name in the area. They were throwing anyone and everyone because you want to get the scent off of you immediately.
Well,
I
eventually,
mean, every criminal knows that you want to get the scent off yourself and get the police onto someone else.
eventually, though, they are going to run out of stories. I mean, to blame other people.
They pretty much are running out. I mean, they're, that's why they went back to Frank now. It's because they're running out. And so they want to go around the bush again. And that's what I'm saying. We don't want to go around the bush again.
No.
We want this case. We want to run around the bush to stop. And we want the people that need to be looked at. And we want this case, Summer brought home, this case solved, and justice gotten for what happened to her.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they didn't bring her in again and say, there's a little discrepancy in your story. Let's go over this again.
And you're right. And they say, matter of fact, I blocked one person in the chat immediately. All PG protects offenders. No, I don't. I absolutely don't. I do not. But but if he done wrong, he done paid for, he already paid his price for doing what he did. I don't believe people should have to pay for things they didn't do. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I
I agree. The guy did his time.
absolutely
He's done everything that he's supposed to have done.
right. Unlike the whales,
Right. Right. So, I mean, life happens. The guy made a
Absolutely.
mistake. And honestly, yeah, he's going to have to pay for that the rest of his life.
Right.
He has to live with that the rest of his life.
and he's
No.
going to have to rest of his life, even if he made a complete turnaround to straighten his life out, he's still going to have to put up with,
Oh, yeah, there's things he still has to do. That he has to comply with, his rules and
right.
everything.
And not only that, but he's got to also put up with, all these people that's probably a lot more evil than he was,
Oh, yeah.
trying to judge him,
Right.
and beating down and putting down, and that's just wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Yep, I agree
And
with you on that.
yeah, exactly. And PG, I stand up for what's right. I seek and I find the truth, and
Yes.
I tell the truth. And if people don't like the truth, then they sure in the hell don't want to listen to PG,
Right.
because that's where I'm at with it all.
Frank isn't registered. I didn't register until days after she went missing. So I didn't get in trouble or make a mistake. Okay, so this guy says Frank is a registered SO and didn't register until days after she went missing. No, he didn't just get in trouble or make a mistake. He's a predator. So, do you have proof of that?
And he is an internet predator. That's what he got in trouble for. Internet.
Yes.
Just like Sherfy Jr. It was internet. It was not real life. Whoever did this to Summer, this is real life. It wasn't like they were looking on an internet.
Right.
I mean,
right.
you can't, and you can't abuse photos on an
No.
internet. There's
No.
people actually really abusing real children, and Summer is a prime example of someone, abusing a
Yeah.
real child. And
Yeah.
this man had an alibi at the time that happened. And for what he did do, he spent time in jail for what he did. He paid his price. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, and and they have classes to help them get through this, them too. So I mean,
And
like,
as the man said, he is complying and doing everything he is supposed to be doing through all of this. He paid the price in jail. He's now paying his price within society by doing what he needs to be doing for what he done.
and he did.
I in no way say that what people do is right. There's a lot of evil people out there, but
So Charlie Dees says,
my Bible says, judge not and be not judged. That's what it says.
well, it does.
Look
It
at the
does.
Bible. Some of the prophets were, had been a murderer, and God forgave them. So you're going to tell me, I'm supposed to judge someone that's actually paid their debt to society for what they done? No, I'm not going to sit there and do that. I'm not going to sit there. What I'm saying is this case has nothing to do with somebody else's case. I mean,
I think this case has nothing to do with the neighbors It has
No,
all to do with the parents.
absolutely.
And
And everybody
unfortunately,
and all of these people, they want, there's a lot of people wanting to, you know, that's how I got involved in all of this to begin with. Is I was one of those well sympathizers at the beginning, thinking
mhm,
that I was wrong to misjudge them. They look like good church going people. They're got all of these good people around them. If they can support them, what is my problem? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I was right from the beginning, and you can't, you should always trust your gut, because
yes,
your gut is always right.
it
You
is.
know, I went and let my mind control me instead of my gut. And look what I got into, a pile of shit. That's what it was, a big pile of shit. And I'm telling you, y'all don't know these people. I know these people. I was in there. I talked to them. Like I said, I was practically living on the phone with them. They were doing nothing for their daughter. No, sissy, no, sissy. This ain't about her. That's what Candace said about Summer,
Who's it about then?
her own daughter. When I asked her to go hand out flyers at the fair, to go put up flyers, to go, look for her daughter, it was
Yeah.
no. It ain't about her.
Well,
What damn mother says that about their missing child? You people do not, call me a sympathizer for these kind of people. No, but I'm no damn sympathizer for them Wells either, and ain't
no,
going about to be. I know
no.
what the hell they are, and they know I know what they are.
Wow. Huh. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to read some of these. Um, you
And that's
know,
another thing, if Donald really believed that Frank Light was a threat to his children, then what was Frank Light doing at the fair with Donald and Candace Wells and their children? There you go.
there you go. You got it. Right there. Right there.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Well, I don't know what she did I don't know what she or they did with her, but unfortunately I don't think she's with us anymore.
KU, I understand, that you feel like to be extremely curious of, but no, I'm not going to be extremely curious of anyone that law enforcement has checked. They had a solid alibi and they have been put out of the equation. No, they're not going to be extremely curious to me at all. Not in any way, form, or how. And especially when they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing to get their life right after doing something they wasn't supposed to do. Um, I'm not going to be curious of them. I'm going to say, God bless them. I hope they're on the right road. And I hope that, in the future, they live the right type of life and move on in this world. That's what I'm going to say. To be perfectly honest.
Well, and I mean, I'm not defending them either. I'm just not. Let's just. There's some.
Nobody's undefending
No,
anyone.
no.
We're just saying that we're not going to bring them into an equation when they had solid alibis to where they was, and the law knows where they were. They were, turned upside down and checked thoroughly, and nothing was found. I am not going to, even if the law is done, look them over, and I know the law knows what they're doing. If the law's already checked them over and found nothing, then I found nothing as well. And, where I'm looking is, what I'm saying is, you don't you you do not end up with a missing 5-year-old child and say, no, 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 it's not about her. You don't
Exactly.
sit there on a hill and not go hang flyers. You don't sit on a hill and not push for money and donations to get billboards up. You don't sit there on a hill and not push to get the ward fund up so that your child can be found. You do not sit up on a hill and just get butt fucking drunk and play games all day. You don't act like these parents have acted.
No.
Something ain't right there. And I'm going to tell you, and in my opinion, nobody's guilty but them. And watch and see if that ain't so.
And you know it's a lie when she says, well, TBI says I can't.
Right. That's bullshit.
It's
That's
bullshit.
bullshit. Because you know what? Monkey's mother is out looking for him all the time, hanging up flyers, actually
Yeah.
wanting people to put him out there, asking people to please blow her son up, to please help find her son. So
Yeah.
you know what? Law enforcement isn't holding that woman down at all. She spent 4 days, barely eating and sleeping out on the streets, searching for her son day and night. So
Yeah.
you don't tell me about a real mom, because that woman right there is a real mother.
Yes. Yes. You don't go to bed at night. You don't go to bed at night when your
Absolutely.
daughter is missing. But
Candace
for her,
walked in, told Allie on the phone that she needed to go to sleep so she could get up and get to the police station the next day, which she didn't fucking do, and a cop car had to come and absolutely escort her there.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She wasn't even going to do what she was supposed to get done. So I don't want to hear it. And then Donald sits there and say, oh, we can't take lie detectors just because we ain't had no sleep. No, she was sleeping just fine. She was
Right.
getting her ass drunk like she normally did and passing the hell out and getting her sleep.
And then he says on national news, well, we decided to put our children in protective custody because of what
Yeah.
happened this summer.
No.
You lying sack of shit.
Absolutely. They came up there and they took them kids, which is too bad they didn't take them sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, like, if they
I bet
they
that
got her
caseworker
out of
lost her
there.
job, especially if she'd been up there before and didn't take them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet she did too.
Absolutely.
But if there's a possibility that maybe grandma got her out of there, then somebody needs to start talking up there. I mean,
Grandma didn't get her nowhere.
No.
Grandma might have got her out of there after Candace, in my opinion, after Candace did whatever she did, so that she couldn't be there anymore.
well, I don't understand. Where is the swimsuit and where is her outfit that she had on?
I don't know, because she told me that she distinctly remembers what Summer was wearing, and it was a pair of purple shorts and a pink top with some kind of glitter, some kind of pretty glitter or something on the front of it. And that's what she was telling me. You know,
So where's
Um,
where's her other clothes? I mean,
so-
what's the big deal about saying, well, her clothes are right here? What is the big deal about saying that? You know,
I have no clue.
she says nothing. That's what makes it so frustrating, because she says nothing except all about what's about her and what's about Don.
Right. And that's what she said. It's all about me and Donnie. It's all about me and Donnie. I just want Donnie. I tried to talk to her about the children and what she needed to do to get working, to get them back. And she didn't want to talk about that. She told me that it's just about her and Donnie, and she just wants to be with him. She
Well,
don't want
what
to
I
think
heard
about
about
nothing
Donnie
else,
today-
but just being with him.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, according to what I heard in the store today, he's leaving 110 Ben Hill Road when he gets out of jail. Oh, I wish I could have talked to her more. Yeah. Well, I might have to visit the store a little more often. Maybe I can get some more out of her.
You know, I think that I think people that mess up, we have laws. And if you don't obey those laws and you don't abide by them laws and you get busted doing something outside of the law, you need to pay. You need to do. Justice needs to be served upon you.
Yeah,
Right.
and then
You knew
you
what you were doing. You knew it was wrong. I mean, I'm tired of hearing, all this mental health bullshit.
yeah, it's
People
not
know
the
exactly what they're
person.
doing. And if you abuse anyone, you hurt anyone, you do, I don't care if you smack your gas pedal down to the floor and do 180, that can hurt or kill people. And even if you didn't, then you need to still show up before the judge and you need to pay for what you've done, because you know what, if you don't, you'll probably do it again, and the next time you could hurt someone. That's why we have laws, and those laws are important to be obeyed so that people can stay safe.
The problem, though, is we have a two-tiered justice system. If you're a politician, a celebrity, you get away with murder. Literally, it's just ridiculous.
Well, not so much anymore.
Absolutely not so much anymore. Even
No.
child services goes into celebrities' houses and taking away their children as well, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And there has been a lot of sexual predators that have been nailed from
Absolutely.
celebrities,
Exactly. And,
All the politicians do it, and they get away with it.
all of that, I don't believe in all that conspiracy theory stuff, at all. And no, if politicians are doing something like that, I'm sure that they're getting put in, before the judge as well. And
well, look at that. What was that? Look at Prince Andrew. I mean, he was accused,
absolutely.
and he just made a settlement with the woman.
I don't want to get into politics. I'm just going to say, look at all the crap that the Clintons have done. They've committed treason, and they're still walking free. So
Yeah, but
But I think that the laws, I don't think when it happened with the Clintons, it wasn't like more aware. You know what I mean? People weren't making such a huge deal out of it until here a few years ago. Like when the women's movement came up, that's when like everything started coming out.
right. Absolutely.
The Clintons, honestly, the Clintons, what happened there, that was more made of a joke.
no, I'm
Right.
talking. Look what she did in Benghazi. They sold our.
we're this over here is about Summer. It's not really
Yeah,
about,
That's what I'm saying.
about,
I'd
you
stay
know,
out-
I ain't trying to go off track onto
Yeah.
I just
you know.
wanted to point that there's elites that get away with everything, and I didn't want to get into. I don't want to get into politics.
I don't think she got away with that because it kind of took her career down the drain and everything else. And to be honest with you, I think our president that was supposed to be handling that was asleep at the time. So, but nobody wants to put the blame there. They want to put it all, somewhere else. And that's what we do as humans, because that makes us feel more comfortable, and it's wrong.
So, Miss
The blame should have been, the blame should have been where it's supposed to be, and that's upon a president that didn't want to get up and handle things himself that he was getting paid to handle. There you go.
Misty Rose, I'm sure you know what Arkansas means then.
So
Left-
120 acres. 120 acres says Scott a hell of a lot of research on this case and
Mhm.
a heck of a lot of time. Why disrespect him?
Yeah, Scott H has done. Who's disrespecting him?
I don't know.
Scott, he knows the area very well, and he's awesome. I don't know, he's awesome.
I don't know who he is. I never heard of him before.
His
Who's
channel,
awesome?
Scott H has thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know Scott H as well. I don't
No,
know.
I
don't
never-
know him. I know very little about him. I know that
He's local. He doesn't live in Rogersville. I think he lives like half an hour away or something. I don't know. But
I heard he was from Tennessee, and
Does he
You
have a
know.
YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Scott H has thoughts.
I
And
think
he,
he's the one that might have been in on getting the money up for the billboard. Is that it? Or was
The
it the
fundraiser.
he
The
had his
fun-
hand he had his hand in one of the funds that they did.
Yeah,
Either the reward or the billboards.
mm,
the
okay.
billboards was Chase who and mainly, and he ended up stealing the money. Apparently, Scott and John Q and Q Carlock did the fundraiser for the
For
summer reward.
the fund to go up. Oh,
I
God
see.
bless them. God bless them.
Mm-hmm.
And Chase did put up a lot of billboards for summer. I mean, he, you know, I hear, people saying that he took money and stuff, but I'm not going to spread that because I do not
No.
know if it's truth or not.
I don't
They
even.
were so bad, and Q Carlock and everything, the super chats, all that, everything. She had everything down to it, every single person's donation right on the T. And she was horribly attacked by all these other YouTubers about they were calling her a scam artist. It was terrible. You can't even do something nice for people these days without being
Well,
attacked.
you
Without-
can
yeah.
if you do it the right way, and that's open a
Yeah,
bank
we talked
account. You
about
got to open a bank account. You got to let all the money go into that account for that purpose only, and let it be overseen by a an attorney or someone that knows what they're doing, so
So,
that it gets to the right places.
so speaking of that, today I did have that conversation with the attorney. Okay, remember I was going to check into that,
Absolutely.
and he said that he goes, you're in a different state, and that's Tennessee down there. He gave me all kinds of ideas of what we could do. He goes, you could do a GoFundMe. And I go, but the GoFundMe, I said they take money for that. That's not what we're looking for.
No.
And so this is what he suggested, was to open a bank account, okay? And then post it. And then he said, he said that the bank would put it into a trust for the kids. Is what he told me. Because he had no clue to what this was about. So that was his suggestion. Was I go open a bank account, and then talk to because banks have trustees too,
Right.
and talk to them and see what we could get rolling on that. But unfortunately, I worked 10 days in a row this week, so I won't have time to do it until next Thursday when I'm off.
Well, I would appreciate you checking into that. I mean, if the bank opens a trust for the boys, then the bank will oversee it, and they will make sure that the fund is for the boys.
But he was afraid. This is what he was afraid of. He said, being that you're from Wisconsin, he said, would people still donate to the boys? And I said, definitely. Definitely. He had to look up the case when I was doing the Zoom visit with him because he had no idea what I was even talking about. That's really sad.
All right.
I think they should go back to putting missing children on
And
milk cartons.
who did he say would be overseer of the trust, though?
It would have to be somebody from the bank. Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't be me.
It wouldn't be an attorney's office then.
Right. Not unless, I call him back. So if I got the account set up, okay, and then the bank is going to help me go through this, and then I should call him back and say, okay, we got this trust set up. Now I want my name off the account, and then you go ahead and set up the trust. You go ahead and oversight it or whatever. This attorney. because I don't want my name on that.
Right.
You know, I don't want nothing. You know, I don't want. I just want to get it set up for them. And then he was telling me that I can call. Hang on a second. I got it on paper here. He said that there was. Oh darn it! Where did
They
it?
have resale stores here that have some decent stuff.
The children. You know, he went on to like the missing children site. You know, that I could call them to see what I could do to set up a trust fund for the boys. You know, he gave me a couple of places that I could call. But I think it's probably just best to go and set up an account at the bank and then have the trustees at the bank take care of it, and then they can have it transferred over to him. But he was wondering, would anybody even donate it, being that I'm, you know, from Wisconsin and you guys are from Tennessee? And I said, oh yeah, definitely. I said, definitely. I mean, like, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I definitely know I would donate to it.
You know,
I,
Absolutely.
as much
And I'm sure many other people will donate to the boys.
oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure tons of people would donate to the boys.
And you know, and he actually asked me if I actually had some kind of a number. He goes, do you have some kind of a number of how big this trust could be? And I said, no, I don't. But
Sky's the limit on that, because it would all depend on how many people, you know, donated to it.
right. So, you know, don't think that I've given up because I haven't. You know,
Right.
yeah.
you know,
I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not like the trust is going to have that long before the boys get it, because one of the boys are already 13, and
Yeah.
you know, 10 years, the child will be 23.
well, yeah,
They
and-
usually turn it over to him at 21. So,
Right.
you know, 8 years, he would be able to, you know, when he gets out of foster care, he'll be able to, you know, use his share to get an apartment, to get, you know, on his feet, a job, maybe some type of vehicle to get back and forth to work with. It would help him tremendously. And when his brothers get out, he might already have a home where they can, you know, they can come to, and
Mhm.
in order to get, you know, themselves established as well.
Well, and
And,
yeah, and he said, I mean, just from, you know, he went on his computer and looked it up really quick, you know, and he said, wow, he goes, just think of the therapy that these boys are going to have. And I said,
Right.
yes.
absolutely. And
know.
and not only that, but most of all, you know, they come out of foster care, maybe they don't want to live with the older brother, even though he's established. They might want to move in on their own, you know, and have their own life, and they have a nest egg to do that with, and to be able to, you know, start anew.
Start a new life. Yes.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
have a little help there to get a car and to get a job or to go to college, you know, make
Right.
something better of yourself than your parents did, you know, be somebody. Anybody can be what they want to be.
I
you
know that when you get put into the system, the way these boys are put into the system, the foster family, they worry about their own children and their own lives and so forth, and they do not put, you know, they don't get up college funds for the kids and all of these things.
Right.
Those kids have to do everything for themselves.
So, did you know, though, Teresa, did you know this? That if in the state of Wisconsin, if a family member, okay, so you know how they put the CPS stepped in and said to Don, we're taking your boys, right? She may have a very, very slim chance of getting back those boys, because I know here in the state of Wisconsin that if you do not have a family member to take the, you know, your kids while you're going through, you know, like what you did, Teresa, like what you went through, if they went into foster care, it's hard. It's like hard to get them back.
Yeah.
That's why they always recommend them to go to a family member, because once they're in the foster care system, it's way hard to get your kids back.
You know, I was surprised none of Donald's family or Candace's family stepped up to offer to take the boys, but
Yeah,
they didn't. They didn't.
no.
And that's because they don't want to deal with Don and Candace, I'm sure.
Well, I'm just gonna, Teresa, I'm gonna put this out there too, that I had a son that had problems, and we had to take the children in, and because CPS said that if a family member does not take them and they go into foster care, you guys will have a heck of a time trying to get them back. And I mean, there again, thankfully, they followed every procedure that they needed to get their children back, but it was a year before they got them back from us. So yeah, so Don and Candace, you just ain't gonna stroll right back in there and get those kids out of foster care to get them back.
And Dana, thank you for the donation. I so much appreciate it. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Exactly.
Yeah. So like I said, if they're in foster care, you don't get your kids back that easy. Huh.
I can't believe that it would be that hard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, there's some kind of noise coming from your thing,
it-
Teresa.
sounds like she's got her TV on. So it says no family members can have boys while investigation going on.
That'd be the first I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, me too.
Even they take matter of fact, right at the beginning when they go to take the children, if a family member steps up and offers to take them, they'll place them with the family member before they'll even place them in foster care.
Correct.
Because foster care, they pay for the children to be took. When a family member takes them in, the family member don't get paid. They're doing it for free.
Yeah.
And that saves the state a lot of money.
Yeah. So Audrey Miller is asking, but what happens to the money if the boys are adopted and the case is closed? The money will still go to the boys, no matter how, no matter what. That money is for them boys. It's not for anybody else but them boys.
Usually at the age of the boys right now, they don't ever get adopted. What they do is they stay in foster care and get moved. They'll get moved to different foster cares until they might stay in this one for a year, 2, maybe 3, until the family, feels they can't handle them or something. Then they'll get shifted to another foster family or a facility or something, and they'll stay there until they reach the age of 18. And when they reach the age of 18, they get their walking papers.
Yeah. With no money.
Absolutely. And that's kind of unfair, because now what they get is they get walking papers and a list of halfway houses that they can possibly go stay in until they can get on their feet.
Yeah.
Which is full of, those places are full of undesirables, as you may say,
Yeah.
and you don't want, you know, if they weren't bad, it won't take long in there for people to befriend them and turn them that way.
Well, psychologically, I mean, like those boys, the things they've gone through already, and then having to be taken away from your parents, and put
Hmm.
into, I mean, like basically strangers' houses. It's got to just be a scary, scary thing for them.
The way I feel about the Boys Trust is, um, you know, it's like, it's kind of like a homeless person. If you want to help them, help them. If you don't. I mean, that's how it is. Um, I see a lot of people, they'll say homeless people ask for money or a donation or something, and a lot of people say get a job. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to say get a job. Just don't say nothing. Why you gotta be mean or be nasty? Just if you don't want to give them nothing, don't say nothing. Just move on with yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
and imagine yourself being 18 in a foster home, and then you turn 18, and then it's adios amigos. You guys are out of here.
right.
And put yourself in their position.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And, I know a lot of people, um,
And if
when
all
it
them,
comes to, but, the thing about the Boys Trust is, um, we will know how much is in it.
yeah,
That's not something private. We
no,
will, because, it is made up by the community. We will know how much is hitting that trust, how much is built up for the boys, how much they'll be getting um when they become of age, and if God's willing, we'll live to see them come out, into society and get their share of that trust and be able to and know that they're going to be okay. And you know that's what I'm saying. It's a good gesture. It's a good deed. Um, you know, I don't look for rewards on earth, but in heaven. And I'm sure anybody that donates, God will know, and there
yeah.
will be a gift in heaven for that person that helped these children in the future.
Well, and that's
So
why that's why I say no more money to Donning. If you're willing to hand it out to those two alcoholic
yeah,
drug
exactly.
addicts, then hand it out to I mean, do good with your money and give it
Right,
to the boys.
right. You give money to Don and Candace, and you know,
Yeah,
to buy booze and vapes. I mean, they smoke it up and piss it out. There you go, it's gone, and that's okay. But people's, going to be concerned about a trust for these children to, be able to come out and actually live a decent life and get on their feet, um,
yeah.
without falling to their knees and saying, God, why? You know,
That's-
um, they had such a hard life. I mean, if you can make it a little easier on somebody, I don't understand why we don't. I mean, I sure ain't going to worry about, what I donate to it.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not going to worry at all. Just like when, we hand a homeless person some money, you know, you're touched by God to give it to them, to help them. I don't ask them what they're going to buy with it, because I hope they buy food. I hope they buy something that, the right thing. But you know what? It's bad enough. Um, if they're going to buy, even if they're going to buy the wrong thing with it, I'm not going to make them lie to me on top of it, commit another sin. No way. I'm not
No,
that type of person. If
no.
I want to give it, I give it freely. And that's the
So,
way we all should be.
Bama Kids, she says, you can allow a trust without social security number of the children signed by the parents. Since they are in foster care, it's not allowed. Call CPS in Tennessee before you talk to anyone else. Well, I have called CPS in Tennessee, and CPS does not want to return my phone calls. So there's your answer for that.
I don't understand. I mean, if here's what I got to say. If an old person wants to leave a bunch of money to someone, it's nobody's business but that old person's to leave it to whoever they please, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if a rich man tomorrow wanted to send somebody $100,000 or $100 million, he could do that, and it's nobody's business.
Right.
You know, what I'm trying to say is it's our money that we want to donate to the boys, and no one can. How can they stop us from doing something like that? I don't think you can, and I
And
don't think
it's
the Wells are going to be mad about you donating for their boy's future.
right.
Um,
And I don't
I
have
don't
to set the
understand that.
trust. I don't have to set the trust up in Tennessee. The trust can be set up in any state.
Right.
If she's telling me I can't do it in Tennessee, I won't do it in Tennessee. I'll do it in my state. But it won't be in my name. It will be in an attorney's name with the boys.
Right.
People make such a big thing out of nothing.
The problem with life today is no one trusts no one because they feel like no one can be trusted anymore. And that's a damn sad thing in this life,
But, yeah, but
Nobody,
yet,
no, I don't think anyone would, rip off three little boys. I mean, that's
exactly.
crazy right there. That's insane.
You
to think.
question the trust fund for the 3 boys, but you don't question why everybody is sending money to drug addicts. I can't not figure people out. You're sending all this money to the parents,
It's
and what are they
amazing, ain't
doing
it?
it? What
It's
are they doing
amazing.
with it?
A long time ago, those 3 boys would have been set up. People would have all set the boys up, and
Mhm.
and they would have focused on Summer and know she's the victim. That's who they're looking for, and they would have, by God, they'd have searched till they found her.
Oh yeah.
But today, humans, they don't do righteous anymore. They do support the evil side. I mean, like
I
Ron and Candace, they're up there 90-some $1,000 in a bank account and adding more to it every day, while their sons, which they don't give a shit about, they would never been in children's services if they'd have gave a shit about those kids. But you know what? Because they didn't, they're there, and everybody's just like, let
yeah.
let the state keep it up.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, if you think about it, people, it's your taxpayers' money that are paying for those boys to be in those foster care. So why would you not want to help them out?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's just the way the world spins.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I'm doing it, and I'm going to do it. And if people want to donate it, go ahead. Feel free to donate it. If you keep your opinion to yourself.
All right. I think a lot of people will. You
I
got a
think
lot of people.
will
There's
too.
always that blocker that tries to stop someone from getting something because they can't stand to see someone else have anything in this life. If it ain't going to them, they don't want it going to no one else. And that, and the Bible warns us about those people. They'll be selfish and self-seekers, only thinking about themselves, and it's all about them. And look at these
Yeah.
parents. That's what these parents are. They taking that 90,000 and getting lawyers to get their boys back, or taking it to get another home so they can get them back even sooner? Are they
Yeah.
quitting it? Or are they, taking it to get some counseling and go to, some dry out somehow, get help with their alcoholic problems and their drug habits and all the other things that they're dealing with. No, they're not
No.
doing none of that.
No, we
Um,
paid off. Let me see. No, we took it and we paid off the truck. But we didn't take any of the money and make more flyers up. We didn't take any more
Yeah.
flyers and move them out further into
And you know,
states.
these people lie for them too. Oh,
Yeah.
PG, they're going to let the truck go back. They're letting the truck. No, the truck has been paid the hell off. And
Yeah.
Candace told Benny right on his thing, I'll come down the bottom of the driveway in that Subaru and I'll bring you up there in
Yeah.
that nice Subaru. So, you know, no.
No.
I'm tired of the lies. I wish people would just damn quit lying. And you're right. They paid that off, but they didn't put anything in the reward fund to make it go up for people to find their daughter, or pay to have flyers printed to put everywhere to find her, or you know, anything, or to get another billboard somewhere. You
Well,
know,
here.
they are not showing any signs of looking for her. And I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, it's because they already know where she is.
Yes.
They already know.
Well, and
They
you know,
already
and
know, and they're
Grandis.
taking everybody to the damn cleaners.
Yep. And
Laughing at them.
Grandma, for example, didn't she head up to Illinois? She could have put flyers all the way up if she was heading up to Illinois.
Yeah, absolutely, but she
Did
didn't.
she? She didn't.
No.
You know, no. And that's what I told that attorney today. I said, you know, I said it was the YouTubers that blew this case out of the water, you know, that made everybody aware of it. And because he had said, no, he said, I never heard a thing, you know. So, you know, it's just like, I don't understand. I wish I lived closer because, like, I'd be putting flyers up all over the place, you know. If I was a grandma, I'd be putting flyers all over. If I had to go to Illinois, I would have stopped at every gas station and put flyers up everywhere. But no, nothing. Nothing. It's like, no, my daughter's dead, and, you know, pretty much my daughter's dead. She's gone. I have to set her off to the side and think about my boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all
She's
heard that.
batshit crazy is all she is. She's just batshit crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Teresa, where'd you go? She must have muted us. She don't want to hear us anymore.
She might have fell asleep. She said she was really tired. I think Teresa might have fell asleep on us.
So let's see. Anybody else got anything here? I never said I was going against the trust. I just think there would be their own family members that would give a damn about them. Well, obviously, we thought that the family members would give a damn about those boys, but apparently they don't. Because if they did, they would have took them instead of letting them go into foster care. I don't know. There's something wrong with that whole family. I don't know if they're a bunch of mixed inbreds, but there is something wrong with that whole family. The whole family. And why can't grandma talk? Why can't grandma say anything?
I don't know. Grandma don't want to say anything. I mean, grandma feels grandma feels like, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, he feels like, you know, why am I going to talk? Is it going to bring her granddaughter back? No.
Right.
It's just going to make her lose. In my opinion, it's just going to make her lose the only daughter she has left now. So, you know, that's where it's at with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I do believe so. I do believe so. Somebody said that maybe we should wait for a trust until after the case is solved.
Yeah, well, they'll be probably out foster care and living on the streets by the time, you know, all of that gets done.
Right.
Right. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
B, I'll bring you up if you want to close the camera. How you doing, B?
Good. How's everybody tonight?
Oh, we're good. Except for
Good.
Teresa, I think she fell asleep.
Oh, I did the other night. I was in bed. I told Prayer Garden I was in there warming my feet, and I woke up about 3:30, and I'm like, my phone was beeping. It was dead. Everybody was gone. Okay, I spent the day today doing some research, and that's the reason I said the state of Tennessee, if they're under 18 years of age, the parents has to be listed as trustee. If
Okay.
they're in foster care, the state of Tennessee, they actually have a guardian ad litem, and that can change, and foster homes can change. So Tennessee does not allow any trust funds to be set up with anyone in their care. As she told me, if they are not if the parental rights are taken away, if they remain
Okay.
in foster care, when they graduate school, their college is paid for by the state of Tennessee. If they're adopted, it's on the adoptive parents, and that's why they don't allow it, because if they got adopted out, then whoever's trustee would actually not have any affiliation with them. You do trustees through an attorney for elderly people or older people or people of age that you don't want to get until they die, but not per se for a minor. They also have TennCare in the state of Tennessee, which is their medical provisions. And so they get the best of health care as long as they're in the foster system. So she said there's no way for it to be done. And you can't. And I said, well, I said the same thing. Well, what about going and set it up in a different state? And she said, it does not matter what state. It is called banking law. It's under the banking regulations. So if you try to go to Wisconsin or anywhere else and try to set it up, they're under 18 years of age. To set up even a checking account under the banking rules, if they're under 18, the parent has to be as a signer on that checking account. You cannot set up a trust without their social security numbers, the parents okaying it, and the state won't do it because they're in Tennessee care and not in another state's care. So it would have to be sent back to the state of Tennessee, which they would not agree to. I'm all for it. So, I mean, I know y'all made reference to, well, a lot of people just don't want to do it. I would be all for doing it.
Well, the attorney that I talked to said to contact, I wish I could find my piece of paper. It must be in my truck. He said that, it was some missing children, website that I should contact because they could lead me into the right direction about doing a trust fund for the kids.
But
So,
they're not missing children. I mean, maybe you're right, but they're not missing children. Right now,
yeah.
the children in the 3 boys have a guardian ad litem that has been
Okay.
assigned to them by the court system in the state of Tennessee. Anything involving those children has
Yeah.
to be approved through the guardian ad litem, and the court systems in Tennessee will not approve it. So if Candace and Don would approve it, it could be done. But then you have
Without,
to decide who the trustee is. If you make a trustee at a bank, that person may not even work at the bank 10 years from now.
but if we made the trustee as an attorney, you know, because this guy I talked to today, he was pretty young.
Beautiful sunflower. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. I so appreciate it. God bless you. God bless you. Much love to you as well.
Well, I know that he's saying the trustee, in other words, you could get a lawyer in Wisconsin
Yep,
that would say he would draw it up and be the trustee, right?
correct.
The state of Tennessee has a guardian ad litem now. Don and Candace really doesn't have any parental rights.
Okay,
But
so
their parental rights have not been taken away from them, but
No.
they have a guardian ad litem that is in charge of them that makes all the decisions. So that lawyer would send it to the guardian ad litem, which Tennessee would deny.
Well, I know Donald is incarcerated right now, but I don't think Don and Candace would have any problems with the trust fund being set up for the boys at
But
all.
they don't have any authority until
Well,
they
they
leave
can.
the
They could
foster
speak
care
with
system.
They could speak with the lawyer. Well, you just said that the parents have a right. If the parents say it's okay, then it's okay.
Well, I'm saying in a regular situation, forget the foster care system. Just say me and you wanted to be a good person and like this family and their children and wanted to set up a trust fund for them, and they
Right.
weren't in the foster system
Okay.
because of their age. Candace and Donald would have to agree to it. But now they have a guardian ad litem that makes all decisions of them. Donald and Candace can make no decisions for those children until they come out of foster care.
Okay, so you can set up a trust fund for John Doe,
Exactly.
and they can't do nothing about that, and even and it can be for the boys when they're of age, right?
If they were not in the foster care system, yes.
No, I'm
No,
saying
the parents has to agree. Any person under 18 years of age that you wanted to set up a trust fund, John Doe for, because the bank's going to want their social security number, their age, their birth date, and immediately they're going to say, and if a lawyer does it, he's going to have to. The lawyer can be the trustee, but he has to abide by the banking laws that he has to have the parent's signature to set up that trust and him be the trustee. And the banks will not allow it. That's a federal law. Even a checking account. If me and you want to go say, well, we're going to open the boys a checking account and every month we're going to put $100 in it, you're not allowed to do any banking for anyone under 18 without the parents' consent. The parents now is considered, state of Tennessee has custody of those children, and they have a guardian ad litem that makes all those decisions, which the state of Tennessee doesn't agree with.
so.
I
You're
don't
saying basically you're saying that Don and Candace Wells has no right to say that this lawyer can be the trustee.
Don and Candace Wells has no rights to their children except visitation right now.
And
That's
then,
it.
and then, according to Tennessee law, the trustee will say no to it because Tennessee doesn't allow it, right? Is that what you're saying? Cutting in and out.
Me, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?"
Yeah.
What keeps Donald and Candace from going and setting up bank accounts for their 3 sons right now? Nothing.
Well, they could go set up a bank account. They could go set up a trust because they haven't lost their parental rights. They just cannot make decisions for the children at this time. So I would assume if they want to go set up a checking account or set up a trust themselves, since they've not lost their parental rights, they could do it.
With the condition that they cannot touch that money.
Right. But someone else
Okay.
couldn't set it up. We can't go to a lawyer. They would have to go to the lawyer and then just say, then we say, okay, we've got $30,000 and we're going to give it to Don and Candace, and they're going to go set up a trust fund.
No, what they do is they go set up the trust and then they give us the link where we can put the money in there.
Yeah. With the understanding
That
in the
very
trust,
well could be. Yeah.
with the understanding in
You
the
know, and
trust
there may
they
be that
cannot touch it.
if the bank knew they were in foster care, the bank probably wouldn't allow it. I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate on that, but that could be a possibility.
Tennessee,
So
you guys got some strict rules down there.
Well, I live in
Yeah.
Alabama right here on the edge of Florida, and I have property in Florida too. And I talked to my daughter's attorney today, and he said the same thing. I talked to my sister who works for an attorney in Florida, and she said the state of Florida is the same thing. So I think I'm just speculating, since it
Yeah.
involves banking, that it's a federal
Right.
regulation. So we just have to do
Okay.
some more research. It still can be done.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I have no way of contacting Candace to find out. I don't know if
Well,
It's
she'd probably be
over there.
drunk because she's still drinking. She was drunk night before
Huh?
last.
I will get a hold of Candace and ask about that.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, the most you could say is no, right?
Right.
Exactly.
But I don't think she will for her sons. I don't think she will. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
I think the only reason people would be skeptical about doing it is to make sure that there's no loopholes, that the parents get the kids back and they have access to the money, because I really do believe people would give to it.
oh yeah. We
even
have
if
to
they get the kids back, if there's a clause
Yeah.
that the attorney's overseer and it's a trusted for the boys and they can't touch it till they're 21, then the parents couldn't touch it either. It's not for the parents, it's for the boys.
Yeah. Yep.
What
that-
And
Megan-
once the trust is set up for the boys and a lawyer is overseer of it, there's no way the parents can touch it anyway.
Well, this
It's not for
is
them.
what brought my attention to it, because Monday I went to the bank because it was my grandson's birthday, and they have checking accounts. Of course, he's only 13 and he doesn't write any checks, but he has a checking account. And when he does little jobs, he puts his money in. And so I said, I'm going to put your birthday money in your checking account, making it look big time, And I went to the bank to deposit, and she said, do you know the adult that's on this checking account? Well, I wasn't sure whether it was my daughter or her husband. And I said, I don't know. It's either my daughter or her husband, one. And she said, well, unless you can tell me their names, you just can't be putting money in a minor's checking account. And I said, I've never heard of this before. And so I
No.
told her my daughter's name, and she's like, okay, you got the right name. We'll let you make a deposit. Make a
Yeah.
deposit? And she said, well, the parents have to know what's being deposited in their children's checking account. Somebody just can't come in here and start depositing money into kids' accounts. I was like, wow, I'm old school, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've gone into the bank with my grandchildren, and of course I had their social security numbers, and I was able to set up accounts for them with
Right.
my name on it,
Right.
Well, I
Um,
guess it has to have an adult signature on there then, yes.
Yes.
I have
Um,
seen where a lot of grandparents set up accounts and so forth and so on, for their grandchildren.
Yeah, and I never had to have the parents,
Right.
And also, I see somebody had made a comment about, well, Candace could go in and change it. And no, Candace could not go in and change it.
Well, that's the problem, because if they're the trustee, they can do whatever they want to do. Yes, they can. A trustee has full authority.
Well, we have to figure out a way how to make them not the trustees.
Yes. As long as all they got to do is sign for somebody else to be the trustee, I would think.
Oh yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, if they got if somebody found a lawyer in Tennessee close that Candace could go to, and that stipulation was made, which they told the lawyer, what the stipulations are, and she
somebody
went in and-
honest,
Yes.
would have to go with her.
no, like if you contacted a lawyer there and
Yeah.
told him that you'd like to set up a trust, but you would want him to be the trustee.
And
not the
Don and
parents.
Candace agreed to it. I think you can do it.
Absolutely. Then you would get back in contact with the lawyer. If they agreed to it, then, he would give us the information how to donate.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and we would start donating.
Yeah.
Because
if she agreed.
normally when a lawyer handles it, the money's paid straight to the lawyer's office.
Yeah, it costs like
That
So
way
you
there's
would have
nobody
to-
in
I
between.
think it costs like $1,200 to set
You'd
it
have
up.
to find a attorney in Rogersville right there somewhere close that, she could drive to and get the paperwork and do what needs to be done in order for us to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I will
That's right.
ask her. I will ask her
Yeah.
Okay.
That would
about
be-
it.
that
if
would be
she's
a
willing
good
to do
thought.
it.
Okay. Sounds good. You ask
Yeah.
her and
Yeah.
get back to us on it.
And if she says yes, then a Wisconsin mama can call, and
Yeah.
Rogersville, she could find a lawyer there that's
Mhm.
possibly willing to handle it,
Yep.
and we could start getting it taken care of.
Yeah. Before
That sounds great. But if it's impossible and we can't get it worked out, we all had good intentions, but we do know that if Don and Candace can't straighten their lives out, and I was just asking the lady at CPS, there is a handbook on their website
Oh,
that
is there?
tells you everything the parents, that what constitutes them picking a child up,
I
taking
know
them
for
out
a
of the
fact.
home.
I know for a fact
Uh,
that Donald would have agreed to this. I know
Oh,
for
yeah.
a fact
I
he
think
would
he would
have.
too.
But
Yeah.
Candace, I'm not so sure. She don't seem to care about the boys as much as Donald does about the children. So don't be
Well,
surprised
first
if
of
she
all,
says no.
Grandis probably, except she lives in that trailer, if she would move into the home, and they would do the requirements of the CPS to get the home up to standards, probably could be a foster parent.
Oh,
She
good
doesn't want to
Lord.
be. But I knew y'all were saying a while ago, is
Um,
there any family? No, there's Don. All of Don's family has criminal records except his stepsisters. Even his own son has SA charges. There's not really anybody in that family that would qualify. Mary and the rest of them they don't really know the children, and I don't think they're probably financially able to take the children. And that's what's so sad is Don and Candace has separated themselves from the rest of the family, and now there's no help out there. And his
Well, I
dad
know.
is in bad health. So
I know here in Wisconsin, if you become a foster parent, that the state pays they pay you $800 a month per foster child. Do they do the same in Tennessee?
yeah, all states pay now.
Yeah.
Even though
Okay.
Don is in jail and Candace does not work, the judge is going to order child support just as it is ordered right now that they're supposed to be paying and not paying. They
Right.
are going to order child support to be paid to the state of Tennessee for reimbursement.
Right.
But,
Wow.
they were behind on it because that was one of the things when they arrested Don on the DUI that they said his children's responsibility had not been met. And so that child support started once they picked the children up, and they have not paid anything, even though he was working.
I did call that CPS, and I think that they didn't call me back because I told her I was from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm glad that you were able to get more done than I was able to.
Well, I asked her all kind of questions about that, and she was real clear on the trust fund, and the judge and the guardian had lied them. And then she said there is and I went and read part of it today, and it's not all that long of an article, but it tells the whole process as far as, okay, the kids are now gone into the system. The
Yeah.
parents have been given what they call a work program. If any drugs were related, they have to be drug tested. If there was any abuse, they have to go to
The parent classes.
they have to attend classes for anger. They have to attend anger management classes. If things in the house have been not kept clean and all that well, then they have to go to family counseling. And after they get so far into family counseling, then they incorporate the children back into it. And she said it takes about a year to do all that. And until all that is completed, the children do not come back home. And the judge hears their case about every 3 months for a status update. And she didn't say the well. She says, this is
Yeah.
the way it works.
Right.
So
Right.
3 months, 6 months, 9 months, they're having continuous hearings that the parents are supposed to attend. And the people from CPS comes and tells the judge, they've completed this, they've completed that, they've completed this. So if they don't know now, whenever the next hearing is due, they will know that Don's incarcerated.
Right.
Um,
And then I had heard that Don is incarcerated for probation violation, and that right now in where he's at in jail, that they do not have a drug and alcohol classes, that he would have to attend them after he gets out.
Okay, well, Candace read when she was drunk the other night on BK's thing, what the judge sent her, and they turned the phone around, and it was from the judge, and it said he was given 360, 11 months and 29 days. He had to serve 180 days.
Right.
At the end of 180 days, they will determine if he has to spend the rest of his time there.
Okay.
If he gets out in 180 days, they do not have rehab at the jail.
Right.
And he is in solitary confinement because of his drug and alcohol abuse, because he has to be monitored while he's drying out.
Yeah.
And because of the publicity of the case, they felt like he needed protection. And if he gets out in the 180 days, then he has to go to rehab. He will not come back home. Rehab will not start until his incorporation. So if he has to say 11 months and 29 days, then he has to go to rehab.
Okay.
Outside of the jail. And she read that letter online and turned it around. And then Benny had somehow got a copy of it because it said copy to Benny Key. And Benny read it and turned his phone around after he got off the phone. And that it did come from the judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said that there was some confusion, that Donald was doing rehab while he was in jail, and he needed to clear up the terms of his court order. And that the terms were he's there for 180 days. There's no guarantee that he will get out. But if he does, he will go straight into rehab.
Right. Right. That's what I had heard too.
Yes. And she said, so there's some confusion on whether this Subaru is paid for or not. Of course, she was drunk, but this is what Candace said, drunk on his live.
Yeah.
She has a lady that's willing to make payments on the Subaru for her. So she's no longer having to worry about the Subaru.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what she said. Mm-hmm. She said she was finishing up the house. She had finished the bathroom. And she said there has to be a divider wall put in the basement downstairs to separate the boys and move them downstairs to separate them from where Don and Candace sleeps before they can come back. She said she had to sheetrock downstairs and put that divider wall up. Her mama's leaving. Her mama's leaving in March, and Benny said he would come help her leave after Grandis. He would come help her after Grandis left. Is that not something that is hilarious?
It is. It is.
So that's just what I heard by somebody flipped up on my page that I think I was actually on Prayer Garden, and it said Candace is on Benny Keys. So I went over there.
Yeah.
And she stayed on there forever. She was about to pass out on there. She was so drunk. The first time she called in, she was just on the phone and her speech was slurred. And I thought, wow, she sounds like she's been drinking. She didn't stay on long, but then she come back in live on his panel and was drunk. Oh, she was wanting to talk to Ernie, begging Benny to get her on the phone so she could talk to Ernie.
I think we were talking about that last night.
That's so crazy.
For Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I asked Benny when she called in. I said, "Is Candace drinking?" Because he said, "It's none of my business whether she's drinking or not." But, however, she did say that she didn't have her teeth in.
Yeah.
But then
I remember her.
When she come back online, she was drunk. She couldn't even keep her eyes open.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Now, why she put? This is what I don't understand. Maybe y'all can answer my question. Why is she saying I have to put Summer to the side? So I have to focus now on getting the boys back and let the investigators do their job. Okay. I would never say I'm going to put my daughter to the side. I would just be saying I have to start now getting the rest of this done and get my boys back. I don't know why she threw Summer in the mix.
Yeah.
Because you know,
Well, we already
she
know she knows where Summer's at. She ain't coming back.
Right.
exactly.
But why would you say
And
that?
in my opinion,
I
I
wouldn't
agree
say that.
100%. But you know, no parent's going to say that. No parent is going to say that. What she said. If you really had a missing child, if you really did have a missing child, there's no way in hell you're going to say something like that. I'm going to tell
Exactly.
you,
Nope.
you're going to be a multitasker.
I tell you,
And that
Yeah.
missing child, you know, even let me tell you something about the Bible. Jesus says, if one of my sheep go astray,
That's
I'll
right.
go and I'll bring it back.
That's
Now,
exactly right.
you know, if Jesus is going to go find a missing child and bring it back, you know, what kind of mother ain't going to go and find their missing child to bring it back?
exactly.
I
That's
would be
unbelievable.
getting I would be getting my 3 boys back. There was 4 of us that hip waders on up to their chest, and I would too. We would be walking every
Amen.
day.
You know,
She can still feed them $1 pizza if she wants to. We would be hunting our children. When they were at school all day long, she has nothing to do. She has nothing to do right now. Nothing. She doesn't even have a husband there. Why is she
No.
not searching
so
for something?
she could be pounding up. I'm going to tell you something. The normal mother, she couldn't put one flyer on a telephone pole. She'd have that telephone pole look like it's wrapped in them flyers.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly. Exactly.
you know,
I
that's what
would be
I'm
on the
talking
news
about.
every 3 nights. I would be best friends with the people on that news network because I would be pleading and begging.
And I know I'd be best friends with that law enforcement too, because I'd be there every day.
Mhm.
I'd say, you know what, give me a broom and a mop. I just became your janitor.
Yeah.
If you want coffee, here it is.
Yeah.
They'd be
You're
getting
right.
boxes of donuts. I'd be taking up donations for them
Listen,
for the police
I would be
department,
standing at the
coffee and
door.
donuts,
I
so
would
I
be
could be there every day.
You know, I'm not a
I'd be
violent
standing on
person.
TBI's doorsteps every day.
Every day.
When they come in there, I'd be blocking the doorway every day.
Absolutely.
So, girls, I'm not a
I
violent
just
person, but when she said that on Benny Keys that day, I'll tell you what. I wish I could have if I could have put my hand to that computer, I would have grabbed her by the neck and said, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I
well,
would have. I'm like,
and,
what
and
is the I want to take a trip to Tennessee, and I want to go to Ben Hill Road, and I want to talk to her, and I want to look at her straight in her face and say, "What the hell is the matter with you?" That's what I want to do.
well, she does need to be in counseling. There's no doubt about it. Not necessarily about alcoholism, but she has no feelings for her children. She doesn't know how to be a mother. She's not capable of being a mother.
Have you
And
heard the
unless
way she talks to Don?
oh,
You
they
know,
both
she
make me
says that
sick.
Don is the love of her life. I mean, the way them two talk to each other, it's like unbelievable. That filth would never come out of my mouth. I'm not perfect, but there's no way I'm going to talk to my husband like that. There's just
Well,
no way.
I know
You know,
how I've heard them talk to each other, and it wasn't very nice.
no, it was not. It was like, that's when I was like, what's
They
the
have a
matter with you?
love-hate relationship. They don't need to be together. But my question was, if you're on Benny's live and you've read this letter from the judge, you've got all that clarified. Benny's going to come help you in March, and you're only focused now on getting your kids back. That's the way it should be. But guess what? You're drunk telling all that.
Yeah.
You're drunk saying all this crap. You are
Yep.
already behind again.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. That's my question. Do y'all think she's going to get the kids back when just 2 nights ago she was on live drunk
No,
fixing
because
her
you
house up so her boys could come home?
no, because people, I mean, the TBI or whatever, all those law enforcement people that are involved, that they've got people watching these YouTube channels. You know,
They know
you
everything that's going on, and it doesn't matter whether they really did or did not have anything to do with the children going missing. They're never coming back home.
no, they're never coming back home. Nope,
No, no.
nope. So, well,
But
I
if
got
they do it won't be no time soon.
no, no. But I gotta get off here. I gotta go to bed.
I know it's getting late, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know where
Prayer
Prayer
Garden.
Garden went. She probably went.
Prayer
Where'd she
Garden, did
go?
they X you out?
She says, "Here, you two just talk. I'll just go to the bathroom."
Okay, well, we'll be quiet, Prayer Garden, so you can talk now. I think she just left us.
Why would she
So I
do
guess
that?
I guess we're running the show now. What else would y'all like to talk about?
I was really hoping to see the picture of Benny and Candace in the snow with the suitcases.
Oh gosh.
She shows that every time, and we just
I
can't
know.
stop talking. That's
It's
pretty funny.
hilarious.
Oh, there
Prayer
she
Garden,
is.
are you back?
Yeah, I got kicked off. Yeah,
We just,
definitely.
we just decided to run the show while you were gone.
I'm so sorry. I
It's
don't know.
Well,
okay.
we weren't letting you talk, so we said she left because she couldn't say nothing.
No, I really got booted.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I'm gonna boot myself off in here because I gotta get to bed. So,
That is hilarious.
thank you for checking on, that for the kids and stuff and letting us know.
Oh, thank you for doing everything too, Wisconsin
Yeah.
Mama. You've been so awesome, and I thank you so much. I
And
thank you so much.
Prayer Garden, I may have to go to that store again tomorrow.
Yeah, I would. I would so be there. If I lived in Wisconsin, I would be going there with you.
I was like,
Girl, I can't believe that you didn't talk to that girl. I would have been going like a sewing machine.
I know that,
Mhm.
but I just I froze.
Right.
You
You
know,
could at
when I heard her
least
say it,
At
I
least you should have
froze.
backed up and got a picture.
Yeah.
A picture.
Well, I will get back up there and hopefully, I work until all the way up until next Wednesday, so but until then I will get back up there and maybe I can just kind of slide in and say, Don Walls, right? I heard you talking about him the other day. Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're
All right.
chimed in today.
I know, but I just didn't. I just I just didn't feel right, But I should have said, "Hey, you talking about Don Walls? Everybody talks about Don Walls. What else you got to say about him?"
Yeah,
You
I've
know.
been following that case.
Yeah.
Isn't it something?
Yeah, it is a circus.
Yeah, a real shit show, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Ugh.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you girls have a good night and God bless, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You too, sweetheart. Good night.
right.
Much love to you.
Much love to you too. All right. Bye-bye.
Candace, Prayer Garden. I'm surprised Candace hadn't showed up on here after she got drunk the other night. I was thinking, oh, she's fixing to show up probably over there at Prayer Garden.
Yeah, and Candace, she don't know how to. She don't show up over here because she don't know if I'm going to be nice or I'm going to be mean. Me and Candace, we have that love-hate relationship. Once in a while, we can hug it.
It's hard to be nice to her, Not a matter whether we really think she's guilty or not. We pretty much all do. But if she came on here begging for everybody to help for her daughter, and do the right thing, we probably might have a little sympathy for her, but no.
Right, right. I tried so hard to get them to, talk about summer. I even wrote letters. As you guys heard them. I wrote them. Um, trying to, I thought maybe they didn't know how to approach it, and I thought that by doing that, it would give them an idea on how to approach and how to talk. But wow, um, that didn't do no good either. As well, did it? Um,
Well, Dawn's having it rough right now. I can tell you. My brother is a corrections officer at the
mhm,
jail in a town just 20 minutes away from me, and they're in solitary confinement. They're
mhm.
not in general population, so they see nobody all along. They can't go to rec. They can't mingle. They can't talk to any other prisoners. Uh, they only get out of the cell to get a shower and sit up. That's it. Where the other ones can get out and they can go out to the yard. They can go sit down, play cards or watch TV, and see he's not going to be allowed to do any of that because he's there, and they're having to protect him from protectors. They know about it.
Your microphone is messing up a little bit. Yeah, robot.
Uh-oh.
It's got a little bit of a robot.
I live out rurally, so
Yeah.
my cell service
That.
is not always good, and it's about to storm here shortly, so the clouds is probably covering us up.
Oh wow. Is it supposed to be
Yeah.
a bad storm coming through?
Yeah, I live right on the Alabama-Florida line, and we have a lot of tornadoes here, and they said we could have some bad weather about 2 o'clock
Oh
this
wow.
morning. So,
Wow.
I think the line's
Well,
already moved in Tennessee.
at least you have a basement, right?
I do.
Yeah, I know. Like in Florida, you can't have basements.
Yeah, you're not that far from. Yeah, you can't dig, but at my place at Panama City Beach, they only had to go 25 feet before they hit water when they
Oh
put the
wow.
well on. Yeah, uh, there's really not a need for basements.
Right. But well, if you have a storm, you have to have a basement to hide in, right?
Yeah,
A
most
tornado.
people that are really leery of them have storm shelters. You can have the storm shelter put in for about $1,800. A lot of people have them
Right.
because we have had a lot of hurricanes and we have tornadoes regularly.
Yeah, that's scary, isn't it?
Yes, we have 12 students at our high school got killed about 8-9 years ago. They took the high school out and they were trapped inside. And
Oh, I'm so sorry
yeah,
to hear that.
there's
Wow.
scary times.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so many people lose their lives in so many different ways. It's unbelievable.
They do.
And it's just it's a tragedy when, you see people like this. I mean, things that could have been prevented. I mean, you can't prevent a storm, that's
Right.
like just nature. But, um, things like this could have been prevented. And it's just so sad.
Absolutely. And all the warning signs were there for a long, long time. And I guess that's my biggest issue with Jody Sue is she seems to know everything. She's in everybody's business. She knows. And even that other Don that lives up there on the hill said she was always in everybody's business and nobody liked her. And he told her to get the hell off his property. But she never called CPS.
Right. Right.
So, she's as guilty as everybody else. If I had a neighbor
Maybe
and I
more
saw
so.
those kids, and I'm not one to call CPS just because you don't raise your children like I raised mine. Mine got the belt on their behinds. But
Maybe.
there was so much going on up there that she was that nosy. She knew what was going on.
I'm going to tell you, I'm still studying her because we all know that something ain't right there. Something is not right when it comes to this woman. To implicate herself in this the way she has makes me feel she's got something to do with it.
Well, I
And
tried to listen to her a little bit today.
oh Lord, God bless you.
What little bit you can understand, about every third word, it makes no sense to begin with, and you can't understand. But I heard her on Scott H's channel one night, and she talked just as clear as could be.
I can't. I'm so sorry for laughing, but I can't help it. I mean, can you ever get through that fucking pause where she sits there for like 10, 15 minutes? I mean, maybe longer. It's like,
yeah, they said she had a 24-hour live the other night. Well, hell, she didn't talk but about 6 of it.
and these people are hanging on 15 or 20.
Not me. I wasn't over there. I was probably over there 30 minutes, and she probably talked maybe 5.
When I see her pause, then I know I got time to run and pop popcorn.
Yeah.
Get some pops. Clean up some of the things I need to get done.
Yeah, I'd go make up the bed and fix me something to eat and come back, and I haven't missed a thing.
Yeah, she just still sitting there. It's like,
well, I know that they said she's had cancer and this and that and the other, but listen, I believe she's on something. I mean, I just don't know. She's on, even if she's got some vocal cords that's messed up and all that, she could get her a microphone so you could hear better, or she could open up her mouth wider. I just don't think that has a whole lot to do with her cancer.
No.
Well, she doesn't make sense in what she's saying. That don't have anything. Not being able to communicate and hear is one thing, but not making no damn sense because she's crazy as hell is a whole nother story. Or either she's on something.
I'm gonna tell you. I knew something was wrong with her when she said one breath she was saying how she was at the bottom of the hill and her son or somebody had to help her up it. And then the next breath she's talking about how she went flying through the creek and running all around it to find Summer. And I'm like, how do you go from, one extreme to the other within, there's no way no human can do that.
Yeah, but she had her wallet with her too, though.
Yeah, did you see that picture where she's like, Candace, this is a purse, not a wallet.
Like, okay, so you ran around with your purse on your arm at the same time while you were cleaning off the flower beds or whatever you were doing, and you were waiting in the creek, and you were waiting to go out to dinner or wherever you were going, and then she got her kids in the house with a damn crazy man too.
Exactly. And she said 1 minute she was up there laying in the cabin. Next minute they were out walking on the s'mores. The next minute they were checking some kind of lines. The next minute, she was, it sounds crazy, but she was down at the bottom of the driveway with flowers as well. What the hell was you doing? Because there is no way in hell you could be doing all of that.
No.
I'm like, whoa, let's back it up a little bit here. Rewind, start over.
Well, the same thing with Candace. She put a bathing suit on Summer at 8:00 in the morning because she gets hot. At her house.
Ain't that crazy?
Well, I took my kids out of the house unless we were going straight swimming with the bathing suit on. We weren't going to the emergency room and then over to Hunter's and all over God's creation in a bathing suit. And then she puts a jogging suit on her because she gets too cold.
Right.
And then nobody has ever asked. She says that she has on the short and this kind of top. When did she get out of the jogging suit and out of the bathing suit and into her other clothes?
Into a short top. Yeah, exactly.
And the shorts and the short top. Nobody has asked that question. It's like when Dawn goes on these stupid panels and talking all this crap taking up for Candace, why didn't somebody say, well, when did Candace take her out of the bathing suit and the jogging suit and change her back to the shorts?
You know, I assumed that when she got home wet, you know, she would have gotten out of the wet clothes.
Well, they went in the grocery store for 5 minutes. Okay. They get home, kids unload all the groceries out of the car.
Right.
How many damn groceries can you buy in 5 minutes?
Absolutely.
And then they went over and helped Grandis take her groceries out of the car too.
I'm going to tell you, they was in that grocery store a little longer than 5 minutes. My estimate in that grocery store was about 30 minutes or a little bit more.
Well, if they bought a bunch of groceries, it was a long time.
And so, you know.
But then if they were only there 3 to 5 minutes and got cheese and something else, why did the boys, that would have been in one bag, why did the boys have to go get the groceries out of the car?
Exactly. I think them boys had to do everything.
I went to the store today. I went in to get a pack of hamburger meat. I walked in, got the hamburger meat, walked to the counter. There was 4 people ahead of me. I was in there about 20 minutes just to get one pack of hamburger meat.
Exactly. Sassy Sally, why would she put her in a bathing suit to take Grandis to the hospital? And that don't make no sense to nobody. Absolutely not. That don't make no sense to no one.
Well, at 8 o'clock in the morning in Tennessee, in the mountains,
I think Hunter might have been telling the truth when when he said that she took Summer into the bathroom and put on her bathing suit. I think the bathing suit may have been in the car.
I think that part of it was true too.
I think so.
Do. But I know that in June the 15th in the state of Tennessee, and I've been up there in July many years, it gets nice and warm in the daytime. But I'm going to tell you, at night, in the afternoons, it gets cold in June and July. It does not warm up there like we do down here in the South. You need a light jacket on in June, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it would have been too cold for swimming. It could not have been in the 80s. It could only been in the 70s. And
Tennessee is kind of like Kentucky and West Virginia and so forth. It's cool, real cool in the mornings. Matter of fact, the sun doesn't even start heating up until around noon. I mean,
exactly.
Because you got all that brush and you got the hills and the brush and everything. You know, it's got to come up over. It's got to come up over the mountains in order to start getting hot down there.
Yes, and in June, and them living up on that hill, it was really not warm enough to be in that creek. And that's the only thing that makes me think, because I don't throw off on her where they were swimming at. I was raised in the country, and we waded the rivers and the creeks, and everybody's saying, oh, it was nasty down there. She shouldn't have been swimming in that water. No, country people do. But I know that it's cold in June. We go every July, 4th of July weekend. And at night, we have to have a jacket on. So it's not warm in Tennessee until the middle towards the end of July. It really starts warming up. But anyway, it's time for me to go to bed.
Yeah, I got another one. Jody. Oh, Jody. You can't help laughing, PG, really. Let us see you try and make fun. Let us try not to see you not try not to make fun of people. That is not Christ-like. Why do you have this channel? What is your agenda? Makes me mad. All this in the name of God.
I don't think we've been laughing about anything.
I laugh all the time, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Miss Jody, and why are you over here? Why are you over here? What's
Okay,
your agenda?
go ahead, Prayer Garden. Tell her about herself.
Yeah, I'm going to tell her about herself. For one, it's not Christ-like to judge other people, is it? Absolutely not. It's not Christ-like to be a old stick in the damn mud where you think everybody's got to walk around serious all the time. I can imagine your pinched up fucking face, how it looks, and nobody probably wants to be around you. Like nobody, because you don't know how to laugh. You don't know how to be sociable. You don't know anything. And your problem is nobody probably does fucking like you, and you hate to see anybody that people do like. You know what? Your bitch ass can just get the hell out of here. Go find a channel that you like.
Yeah, go back to BK. Go back to BK. That's where you come from.
Oh, God. Yeah, go over there and listen to that Christ-like stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Lord.
Gang, go.
Exactly. Exactly. Take that. What did he say? That looking ass.
Yeah. Take your tired looking ass back over there to BK because we don't want to hear it. Because nobody here was having fun. We were talking serious stuff.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
listen,
Unless it comes to
if you
Jody
didn't
Sue.
laugh occasionally, you'd go crazy with this case. You would absolutely lose your mind.
Yeah, take her ass and go try to listen to Jody Sue without laughing.
Yeah, really.
I'd be laughing all day at that. I'm going to tell you.
Go listen to Benny or Cher and see if you're not laughing.
I tell you what, when it comes to Jody Sue, man, you got to laugh with it. Keep from fucking crying. If you just sit there for 5 minutes trying to figure out what this woman's saying, you going to laugh or lose your fucking mind.
Yeah.
One or the other. Yeah. Gang looking ass. Go somewhere else with it, lady. Why is she even here? I mean,
what are you here for? What's your point?
Exactly.
Come up on panel and tell us what your point is. And then somebody laughed.
She had the wrong name, man. Her name should have been Debbie fucking Downer. Give me
There
a
you
break.
go. There you go.
Lord, man.
Oh.
I get tired of wearing these heavy steel-toe boots, but I have to put them on every night so I can give people like that a swift kick in the ass. Right, fuck on out of here. I'm like,
okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna drop down and
all right, sweetheart.
Get ready to go to bed. I'm glad I got to chat with y'all tonight.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys coming upon panel. God bless you. I love it when everybody comes upon panel.
Yes, well, God bless you, Prayer Garden. We appreciate you being here because other than Benny striking everybody's channels, because that's the reason he's doing that is he wants to be the only one so he can get all the money. So he's striking everybody and getting everybody gone. So really, you're the only channel left that's really, really trying to follow Summer and keep up with it because all his bullshit is just bullshit.
Yeah, I heard Ziggy said she's going to quit talking about this case because she's been getting too many threats as well. I get them.
Well, Molly's already left. Molly's already left it, and Jay for Justice has left it.
Right.
So Ziggy's left now. So I don't think Cher, she's got her daddy up there. She's got the daddy show going on now. So that's all she does is have her daddy on there. So I think everybody except you.
Oh, I ain't giving up.
Trying to cut everything off. Me either.
I ain't giving up till Summer's found, Me and Benny's gonna be here for the duration, ain't we?
Yeah, Benny thinks he's gonna get everybody right off. That's why he struck you the other night. You were the only one left.
Yeah, well, that's sad for Benny, because you know what? PG ain't doing it for the money. I'm doing it for Summer. So, you know, Benny's gonna have a real fucking problem running PG off.
Well,
That's for damn
can
sure.
you go back to being monetized or not?
And not until because when they do that to you, you have to wait until like I think it's 90 days, like 3 months or something. I don't know.
Well, that's why Benny's not monetized. He keeps saying he don't want to be
I'm new at
monetized.
all of this, but like
Yeah.
you know, I know that um it's a minute before you can do anything about it. So
Well, that's
um,
okay.
you know.
Benny can't be
Yeah.
monetized either, because that's why he says, "Oh, I'm not monetized. I'm not here for the money." No, he's not monetized because he got struck so many times.
Well, he gets a lot in Cash App. I mean,
Oh,
those people
absolutely. He's
really
getting a
hit
ton of.
Cash App. Matter of fact, he got hit so hard he bought a $1,200 phone. You know, and
Yep.
he's getting a
Yep.
plus he signed that he signed the contract up at the Wells. I
Yep.
refused to sign anything, but he signed it, and you know, so he gets a kickback also from everything going on. So
Yeah.
for the people that sign it, you know, even Cam and them, they get kickbacks.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Benny's also
Cam.
getting a cut of the money that the Wells are taking in because he's promoting it.
That's
So
right. That's right.
he's
That's why he's
getting,
going in March. He needs to go get him up some more money from Candace.
yeah. Well, I'm sure Candace sends his mom a lot of the gift cards and stuff as she receives as well.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, sweetie. I'm out of here for the night.
All right. God bless you.
Same to you, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Much love. Okay. I think I'm going to shut down too. I can see a lot of people are tired. I think I had one person go to sleep tonight. Poor Teresa. So she was really tired though when she came up. God bless her. I think she just come up to keep me company, and poor girl fell asleep. So as every night, I'm going to ask that everybody pray for Summer. Please, please, please pray for Summer. That's what this is all about over here. We ain't going nowhere. I know the other creators are moving on or doing other things. They got tired of being attacked, I guess. Taking all of what this was bringing to the table. But we're going to keep, we're going to keep our big girl and boy underpants on and our shit kickers, and we're going to keep kicking. We're going to keep kicking till we get justice. Absolutely. We're going to bring Summer home. We're going to get justice, and we're going to fight like hell until we do. Absolutely. So, keep sending those prayers up to God, touching his ears, because I know through his son, Jesus Christ, we've already got a lot of answers. I know that we're going to get the rest of the answers we're seeking, because God hears us and he loves us, and he's going to bring this to the light. Trust and believe that he's going to pull it to the light, and we're going to get justice for Summer. Keep faith. That's what I say. Keep faith in all of this. If you keep nothing else, keep faith and hope, because that's what we need. God knows our hearts. I mean, when we pray, we have to believe, right? We have to believe, because it's by our faith things are done. So please, when you're praying, believe God's going to answer us, because he is. And pray for one another. Tennessee Shine's mother, BD CAAD. I'm not for sure. It's the initials, and I always forget them, and I'm so sorry I do. But pray for him as well. And there's other people, the woman's husband, I think, is coming home today. So let's pray that he did and that he's going to be okay. Let's just keep praying for all the people that needs prayer, and let's pray for one another. And if everybody is well, ask God to keep them well. I ask every night. BDAC, thank you, White Window Baby. God bless you. You're a sweetheart. I so appreciate the people that came on panel tonight with me. God bless you guys. Much love. I so appreciate this chat. You guys are beautiful. Don't ever let no one tell you you're not beautiful, because you are. And you are essential, not disposable. Always remember, you are not ever disposable. No human is. And just, you know, if you ain't told your mother you loved her lately, tell her. You know, your brothers and sisters, grab them, give them a hug, let them know you care. Your children, definitely always hug, kiss them, and tell them you love them, you know, as much as possible. PG's going to get off of here. Always know I'm praying for you. Good night, everybody. Much love to all of you.